current reigning major champions. It's a whole different ball game altogether. And yesterday we saw Mantu deliver. He was incredible on this map alongside the IGL, that is Nexa, and the sophomore, as Yanko called him, that is Flames in his team. Neofrag and Fiku, we're still kind of quiet, and here we go. Fast play coming in, the charge out mid, and despite FaZe keeping 4 players, they're just getting hounded down here, Vince.
Oh, it's been a bloodbath, a complete massacre. Rops is the only player that's mustered up a kill, but he's instantly traded out. And that puts Karrigan up against the world. May get the upper hand in a labored engage against Nexa, but losing a bit of health. But more importantly, it's bided enough time for OG now to put 2 players in the donut. 2 separate angles. Karrigan tries to divide them down the middle, but it will be OG with an incredibly fast push up mid. Nothing particularly intricate, but still super successful.
And sometimes it's all you need to do, right? Just hit your shots, as simple as that is. Nice flash round from Nexa, mind you, to completely blind Twist. And the other CTs realizing, okay, this is a fight they don't really want to stick around for, but they were caught in transition. They were caught while falling back. That's a very, very good start indeed for the side of OG. They do lose a couple of players, but that's totally fine. The force going to be coming in for FaZe. We have Rops with the MP9. Going to be pushing up pretty aggressively here.
5-7 in these kind of positions could be a real nuisance, and Rops getting one as well. But Neofrag, the young man with points to prove, has had a smattering of success, I think it's safe to say, in this tournament, but it's been other players that have really stood up. You mentioned before Mantu, he dropped 29 on this very map yesterday. But it is a 3-on-3. And with the scout and play from Karrigan, maybe he can just weaken a couple of these players as they push in. He's stuck on the wrong side of the box as far as OG are concerned. They need to try and neutralize him. He does connect the shot, but it's at the cost of his life. And Twist with that deagle will be showing his hand from Donut. The last player in the form of Rain has the Galil, has not been spotted as of yet, but they must realize that this is a distinct possibility, or perhaps not. They get caught by him, but Twist dies just ahead of time, and that allows OG to secure their second round.
And Neofrag delivering there as well. He is someone who was kind of quiet yesterday, despite the win that OG were able to get. Neofrag and Fiku, some questionable plays from them, which made things a little bit more closer than they would have wanted to. But this is overall still, I guess, for FaZe, a pretty decent success. They would obviously have wanted to win the run, considering the investment they had. The hold towards A-Halls, getting them quite a bit of success. For OG, we did see them go for a few of these A plays, but it was primarily against the pistols. The majority of the times they have been more focused and on taking these fights towards the B bomb side. And it was their opposition, I do believe it was Entropiq, who struggled as to their approach as to how they wanted to approach the CT side, right? Like there were times where they would go for mid-aggression, but when it was isolated most of the times, and Western, they got completely taken down. The second option, which they tried, was trying to be really turtled up and passive on the bomb sites. Again, something OG were able to exploit. But we did see a few rounds, Vince, if you recollect, when they, as a whole unit, went for this aggressive posturing towards mid, towards the lane position, and that's when they found a bit of success on the CT side. Although that being said, it was kind of a little too late. I do believe it was in round 13 or 14 on the CT side. So that's something I'm sure FaZe would have noticed yesterday. They would have watched this game as well, as mentioned. You know, they would have prepped for this map, particularly for this OGT side. So remains to be seen how they're gonna be setting things up once the buy comes on in. For OG though, it's gonna be a clean round. They don't lose, shouldn't be losing any players here. A couple of Mac 10s there for Flames and Nexa. It is going to be a bit of a bonus round. Flames actually going in for the hunt. He can easily find a couple here.
He's walking into the stack though. Rops with a deagle puts him down, but it is only the Mac 10. So even picking that up isn't exactly the most worthwhile of endeavors, but Rain also passes a bullet into the head of Nexa, so that's going to bolster up the buy a little bit with a couple of Kevlar that were saved over from the last round. But this for me is where things get interesting. I think additionally, when you look at FaZe and the way they typically set up with the likes of Brokey being very aggressive with the AWP, I think he could take the fight to this OG very aggressive T side, and it could be a very entertaining clash.
Really could, but because they did lose a couple of guns there, the upgrade will be coming on in, so it's not really a bonus round here for the side of OG. AK-47 South, 3 players poking and prodding, slowly walking up, and Rops is going to be making contact. Goes to the repeat as well. That is very brave, but smartly he won't face. Now he's tucked on in, And Mantu, is he looking to challenge? He is, Vince, and he's going to get punished for it.
Yeah, Rob's just really putting down the pain here with the A1S. He still has 45 HP. 2 players in Donut's going to be a very difficult ask now to entry in from Fiku's perspective, and he's also dropped the bomb down on the narrow angle, so they can retrieve this. Neofrag making amends, avenging his fallen teammate, but just joined alongside Nexa. Postplant will be coming through, though. They managed to force this down, even though they're heavily outnumbered. A bit more damage inflicted, but Rops now with a wide swing. Gets traded out instantly from Neofrag. Now stuck in the main, and he only has 11 HP. He's going to be backing off and likely looking to try and just hold on to this AK-47. He knows this round is a done deal. So FaZe, in their first rifle, when they finally get weapons, will be successful.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart call from Neofrag to save this AK, right? Because if you look at the money for Fiku, Nexa, and Flames, it is kind of low, so it's going to be a bit of donations coming in from Mantu and Neofrag, so we will still see a solid buy coming out. Good hold here from Rops. A bit surprised Mantu just went for that swing on the trade. They could have isolated him, they had quite a bit of utility as well. They could just kept him pinned inside a temple, and despite being in a man disadvantage, they could at least maybe have tried to get the bomb down, but Rops getting the couple. FaZe, a solid start indeed. All these smokes raining in top mid, and this is FaZe approaching this a little bit more aggressively, right? This is what we saw from Entropiq in a couple of rounds they won on their buy round, where they were pressuring towards mid. Let's see if OG are able to wrest control of this as Karrigan spraying through the smoke, looking to catch Mantu as well, but he will be taken down. But not before Mantu's been whittled down to 19 HP. We have Rain as well being very aggressive, and he has been spotted.
Flames will funnel back on the T side. The bomb had traversed over on the B side of the map through on the ramp, but is now backing away. So OG respecting FaZe a great deal in this round, biding their time. They still got plenty on the clock, however. Just shy of the minute. Cave, back and forth. Just Jaguar control from Rain is desperately trying to a bit of control over this con side, and it's Neofrag that picks up yet another. He's got so many of these entries. He's 7-0 right now, and continuing to be a real nuisance for this FaZe CT side.
Brokey, right now, all by his lonesome. So he's got to be the rock. He's got to be the turret here for OG. And one thing we saw from OG yesterday, Vince, they don't seem to panic. Even when the clock runs low, they're pretty methodical and how to go for this approach. And right now with the man advantage, the play is going to be coming on in towards the B bomb site, and it's down to Brokey to deliver.
Oh, he's got second best of it. He still gets one, but he was watching down the ramp. There would have been multiple players pushing into his crosshair. And now OG feel comfortable and convinced that this site is completely bereft of any CT, so they will go in for the plant. Fast rotation in. Twists is waiting for Neofrag to show his head. If they can get this kill quick, then there is every chance of a possible retake. Still 3/4 of the fuse remain on the bomb. Neofrag is going to get peeked in from Twists. Gets the kill, but it's at great cost to his HP, and Flames will trade him back. They know one of these remaining Ts are. It's all down to the last one in the form of Fiku. And this smoke may do more harm than good for Rops, because surely he gets fragged down now from Fiku. Sprays up through the smoke, and OG bounce straight back after losing one round. They secure a 4-1 lead.
And not just that, for FaZe, you win one in this CD side economy, you win a round and then immediately lose all members. That means the money's in a grim position indeed. And to able to triangulate the traces coming in from Karrigan's gun there and able to bring this one back. But that was actually a good start coming in for FaZe initially, but great job from OG to turn things around. And yeah, Rob's nice attempt, but not expecting Fiku to be tucked on in the cubby. As, okay, Karrigan, he is somehow avoiding the flames, and he's gonna find Neofrag. Rain right behind him. They might have been expecting the second CT.
And that was such a ferocious play on the side of Karrigan. Love to see that kind of aggression come out, and this is a sort of round where you can really toss it in. Rain tried, but Flames is watching the back from the double doors. That's a tilt if you're Rain. Look, there's 3 players there. Why is he double doors watching their backs for that exact push?
With that exact push, yeah, that smoke could have kind of ruined the day there for OG, but good work there. As this one should be pretty much done. The bombs are bereft of any CT presence, and Twist and Rob's probably going to be just holding on to the Kevlar. They haven't taken any damage, so they can easily upgrade The helmets are just $350, so the buy is still going to be coming on out for FaZe, but OG once again showing that they are very, very comfortable on his T side here. Seems to be one of the earlier adopters of this of the new changes on the ancient side. That being said, we've only seen it played what 3 times already here in the tournament event. So while we've seen OG find pretty good success yesterday against Entropiq, that was just a complete stomp, and right now they're off to a great start here as well against FaZe. But I do wonder, you know, we have ESL Challenger taking place next week. After that, we have Cologne, and I'm sure a lot of teams have a lot of cool stuff their strat book to work with. So I am curious to see how things are going to be playing or not. Right now, the OG are looking very solid indeed, able to hold off against some of these half buys for FaZe. But here we go, the second full-fledged buy coming out. No AWP this time for Brokey, however. They do have the rifles, and you can see slowly but surely we see a lot of teams starting to adopt the M4 a little bit more nowadays, Vince. We've seen like at the beginning of the tournament, the first day, it was still a lot of A1s, but as the tournament has progressed, we've seen players start to switch to the A4, but Rain is still gonna make that A1 sing. Neofrag and Nexa to fall early.
Very important start for FaZe as well, because they did prioritize utility, hence dropping down to the full M4s, as you mentioned before, and they were basically facilitated that peak off the back of well-placed incendiaries and smokes, isolating OG from one another, not allowing them to get any avenging kills to come to the forefront. That's a good flashbang. Oh, Fiku! I can only assume that was a scroll wheel jump, just out of pure desperation and panic. And it does keep Karragan alive, though. He had no right to survive that because the flash was dead on. He was fully blinded.
Another point for the spacebar jump gang right there, Vince. I know you're not one of them. I'm just...
I use spacebar.
Yeah, you do. There we go.
Yeah.
What a legend. But Rob's just sneaking from... Yeah, this should be it. There we go. Clean round. The timing on that walkout could not have been better.
What do you use for crouch, Blur?
Oh, I got a really my pinky has it's not tendonitis, but I have like a problem with my pinky, so I can't really comfortably press control, so I use shift. So and I move up my walk to caps lock. Just like shift everything up like just one
See,
key.
I use C for crouch, so there it is.
A lot of video games actually have C for crouch. I think it's fine. I've seen worse. There are people who use right click to jump.
Mental, absolutely mental scenes.
That's what people use in Quake, though, but it's a whole different game altogether. But here we go. FaZe winning their second buy in a very, very clean fashion. We even have the upgrade coming in for Mr. Brokey. Now, Mantu is the man I'm going to be keeping an eye out on here. Flames and Neofrag has already had a great start, but Mantu was the difference maker. This T-side off from him was so instrumental in some of this clutch situations and going a bit of combat opping as well coming out from him. So if you can recreate this against FaZe, things get interesting. Contact play. Oh, the flash is brilliant. Mantu wasn't blinded, but Neofrag was so white. And Karragan, 2 easy kills for him.
Yeah, he also lined up. I mean, it was such a beautiful timing on FaZe. And this is where that kind of research, watching over the demos, getting an idea for OG's behavioral patterns could very well come to the forefront. Those kind of plays, those kind of opportunistic flash peaks. We saw Karragan in that pistol round getting a flash and getting the aggression, getting the kill off the back of it. Now, Rops gets the headshot, but actually is sprawled out, and that puts more pressure on Brokey. And of course, he's going to pass the first kill fairly comfortably. And that puts Fiku in an awkward spot. And still, they need to traverse the bomb over here. They need to cross it onto the site. If it was in the hands of Fiku, he could go for this straight up plant. But because it wasn't, and it was Nexa that was carrying it from main, there will be no plant. And only 1 kill plus AK's trading hands. FaZe bouncing back into this half.
I love that little play from Twist as well, right? Like the target selection, the moment he knows the shot was missed from Nexa, he immediately pushes on ahead to isolate the frag on towards Fiku, because Fiku was tagged and that was confirmed damage and Rob sort of conveyed information to him. So just clean shots there from Twist. And FaZe, yeah, a couple of rounds back to back looking good, and they've finally broken the money here for OG. So already OG facing stiffer resistance than they did yesterday against Entropiq, but still early days and still have a 2-round lead, mind you.
Yep, that is a solid point to raise, that OG, even though they're on the back foot, still to be relatively happy with this. And although the narrative was how crushing they were on their T side in their previous game against Entropiq, they won 16-7. Their CT side was fine as well. I will put the caveat in, though, that they did win both pistol rounds against Entropiq, which is always going to give you a massive advantage against anyone on the world on any map. This is going to be a shooting gallery, and it's going to be a massacre. And it's Twists and it's Rops that lay OG to rest. However, it was a full eco, but it's just about nailing in where you can. That deficit now down to just 1.
And you got to remember as well, off the majority of the rounds that OG won was off the pistol, the anti-ecos, right? So 4 of those rounds were, if I'm not mistaken, against the half buys and the pistol. So the buy rounds, FaZe have looked pretty solid. The sequence of rounds they have here, just look at the money. Average of about 5k, or close to 6 actually in 4 of the players. So they're looking pretty solid here, despite a bit of a rough start. Smoke going to give away Karrigan's position. If he peeks out, Nexa is going to pop his head, but the Flames will force him out from the boost.
Good damage to Nexa early on, dropping to 29 off a HE and some wall bang damage on Rain. So this hit and run style is put OG down to just 2 smokes, 2 flashes. Plenty of AKs, but when you have 1 minute and 20 left on the clock, and you know that FaZe are certainly no strangers to getting aggressive on their CT sides. We've seen it throughout this tournament, throughout the last few months. It will be in the back of their minds. Mid also completely vacated, and with 2 players up in red, if a call should come through that B site is being hit on, they can very quickly rotate 1 player on the back and 1 player up down mid, if they so choose. Flashbang for the peak, and OG still clambering desperately for just any kind of real estate here on the map. Now they're starting to move in on the B site, though.
Look at Rops. Look at timing Rops finds. He's pushing on in through A hall. So now FaZe can commit 3 or maybe even 4 members on his B bomb site as Brokey spots the shoulder, and he's going to find Neofrag.
Yeah, OG, they were too slow. They just didn't really do enough to get FaZe interested here and push them and probe them in awkward positions. And this is the end result. A complete and utter devastation of a round. FaZe get their 5th without losing a player. And you mentioned before, the average sort of money across the board was 5,000 to 6,000. Well, that's just spiked significantly after keeping all 5 players alive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I'm still marveling at how that innate sense of timing from Rops, right? He was playing that off angle inside of A-Hall for so very long. And you said it, Vince, the rotation would have still been very quick from Red Room for FaZe. But the fact that he pushes out near T-Spawn towards the elbow position allows FaZe to already set up the crossfire. And then Karrigan in the end as well, just running on out and just mauling the final 2 players as Twist. This one's a shooting gallery for the Canadian. Runs out of bullets at the very end, but that's all right. Rops and Rain are there to finish off the job. And FaZe, they make it clean. 5 in a row right now for the side of FaZe Clan.
And also going back, because obviously we were casting this game between OG and Entropiq on Ancient. One aspect that definitely helped OG on their T side, not just that Man 2 is popping off and he's not had that same level of performance. Then again, let's be honest, FaZe, no disrespect to Entropiq, they're a much better team than Entropiq are individually and as a team, so that was never really likely to happen twice in a row. But additionally, they kept Entropiq's CT side constantly on the rocks. They constantly had like $2,000-3,000 on a couple of players. They were forcing out sort of MP9s. There was a lack of utility. The fact that FaZe early on have stabilized and got themselves rock solid finances means just there's no easy way to break them down at this point. You're going to have to get them 2 or 3 rounds in a row. And even then, it's FaZe with Deagles, with lower investments, they're going to be pretty solid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And even the way FaZe is setting up on these bomb sites, primarily towards B, it's very different from the way Entropiq were, right? Entropiq just had 2 players who were playing all the way at the back of Cube. FaZe are much more forward positioned as Twist is getting his position with utility. So the 3T's lying in wait. The flash is brilliant though. Is Twist gonna check? Yes, he is, but Nexa finds him first.
Important to at least take down Twist in the process, but now Man2 needs to deal with Rain. He is exceptionally low. On 1 HP, a bullet anywhere, and he is a goner, but he manages to duck underneath and survive, pulls back to the cave. Oh, that's ridiculous, and OG needed that frag, because now he can position and watch the B site, which allows Karrigan to play up close in this angle. Neofrag's been solid today, but Karrigan is up to the task.
Karrigan's been looking pretty solid here on the CT side. Just coming out on top of a lot of these duels. The repick, though, he could be punished, but no, Karrigan, second one for him. And there's no way Mantu can trade. Bomb's been dropped. Now, Mantu has a lot of time to work with, and he was a hero in the previous game, but this might be too much to ask. You can see them slowly triangulating on his position, and Robt from behind will finish him off 7-5 now. And okay, the money is absolutely out of control for FaZe. All 5 players over 10k. Karrigan just had over 10k, but he had to rebuy his gun. But still, this is a ludicrous place that FaZe find themselves in, economically speaking. And even in this half, it feels like such a long time ago where OG were 5-1 up, and then FaZe just gone into 5th gear and they're shutting this one down.
Yeah, 3-0 after the pistol, then FaZe came back, and then 2 more rounds. They're going to go for an aggressive hit here. Karrigan this time can get 1, actually 2 from the grave. He will burn Fiku alive. Rain will be disappointed he didn't come out ahead in that trade. He had Mantu dead to rights, but instead it will be a post plant. Now keep in mind that there's not a huge amount in terms of grenades. In fact, there's absolutely nothing, so they may go in for some kind of an aggressive peek here. The spray through the boxes is good. Nearly nullifies Nexa. He's on 35. Mantu with a boost up over. Tries to spray. Bit of damage inflicted. That HE is going to be money, though. Oh, it's a double dunk. And NeoFrag's also going to take shrapnel. Now, do they realistically expect all 3 of the players to be in the same angle? They're going to find that out firsthand. And with the kits, they're going to have enough time. It's a really solid effort from OG, all things considered. But FaZe just had too much up their sleeve.
Oh, Vince, if they didn't have the nade there, it could have gotten a little spicy for OG. One of the players was really whittled down the boost, actually dealing quite a bit of damage, and Brokey had just the AWP, so this nade just might have saved FaZe there. Great triple kill from Brokey on the retake. And sure, OG, they deal a bit of damage, they're able to get the bomb down, but they need a few rounds. They were 10-5 on the T side against Entropiq yesterday, but right now it's seemingly they've hit a wall.
And that FaZe wall is impenetrable. OG can try pulling out the sledgehammers, the tools, and everything, but ultimately, FaZe are just too strong. And Rops is pushing in. Now, this could be into the arms of Mantu. We've seen these kind of aggression plays happen before. Mantu has a nade out. He couldn't see Rops. The arm was blocking his vision. That's so brutal.
That's a classic CSGO moment right there. I mean, and even if Rops didn't check, the moment he throws a smoke, it's going to give a sound cue. He was dead. He was going to be dead. But at least he would have thrown the smoke there. Vince's Karrigan, he's been such a nuisance in this ramp position, and he's going to escape as well.
Rain nearly doubles up. And Flame's last man standing, 48 HP separates him and his demise. Flash is good, but he can't really follow up that damage. Spray down onto Brokey, gets a second as well. On 5 HP, he had a very small chance, but that has been ripped away from the Estonian contingent of FaZe, and that will be 8 rounds in a row now to FaZe.
8 in a row. Jeez, and OG have only gotten the bomb down once, which was the light purchase when they had pistols, and just the timing, that is just so unfortunate. And this is something we didn't see much yesterday against OG from Entropiq, right? Vince, this consistent re-aggression on the extremities of the map, and most of the time it's not even dry as well. There's a lot of utility being deployed too. Just look at how Karrigan's been assisted so many times by the flashbangs from Rain, from Brokey. Flash is, again, so good, and Karrigan almost finding Nexa. He's getting really eager here. 20 bullets still to work with in the magazine. He's going to push on ahead. There's no one with him.
Smoke up in the smoke, but NeoFrag had the right read, and Rain has been sprayed down. Multiple players on both sides are pretty low right now. 3 players are on the 15 HP mark, and NeoFrag, one of them, has now been finalized by Brokey's AWP. Rotation around the back, double spray from Karrigan, and that's the bomb that goes with it on Donut. And FaZe were looking a little bit shaky in this round, but they have once again just planted their feet in the ground, and they refuse to go down. This would be 9 rounds in a row and a 10-5 half, and that is exactly what comes to pass. OG, most of their success, Blair, you have to say, it was off the back of the pistol round. This could have been a complete massacre had FaZe have got that as well.
Yeah, I think they won just the one round against FaZe's buy. That was the round where Brokey had the AWP and he dies towards the B bomb side. Ever since then, yeah, it's been Carrigan and his men all the way. And Carrigan, I think it was what, 16-7? I will have to check that, but he has been in monstrous form. Not just catching the timing, but sometimes at times just wide swinging and taking duels and coming out on top. 16-7 for Carrigan, 15-5 for Rops. Oh boy, what a dominant sequence of rounds from FaZe. But here we go. T side now. We really didn't see OG CT side getting too challenged by Entropiq yesterday, Vince, mainly because, well, they had such a gargantuan lead. It was very easy for them to close it out. I think it was 16-7 or 16-6 at the end of the day, as Nexa tapping away in the smoke catches twists. And Flames pushed up with the dualies.
Tailor-made for these angles. The jump up, though, completely wrecked him. He had to change his angle of aggression. There were two players there you expect. Really, the CT should lock that one down. Mantu is still playing possum around the donut portion before he spills Brokey down, and there's NeoFrag as well. They do claim the round, so OG, as they did against Entropiq, pick up both of the pistol rounds, but this is an entirely different ball game that's up against OG this time around on their CT side.
Won both the pistol rounds, and they've been pretty solid in the in these anti-force by anti-ecos as well. It's just the rifle rounds that's been a problem for them, but still, nonetheless, a good start here from the side of OG. Bit of a prolonged battle as well towards Donut, but Brokey not able to find a second man to doing a good job there to shut this one down. It's going to be full eco for FaZe though. Not getting the bomb down, they don't really fancy the chance. And two, he's been dinged, and he's been taken down, Vince. Not a single kill with the MP9.
So Nexa needs to have impact. If he goes down without much of a fight, this could get really bad really quick. He's getting tagged up through the smoke. Spray is good though. Depleting nearly a third of the magazine, denying the bomb plant as well. And it seems like this round will be going the way the CTs after all. Oh, the Glock spray is so rough. If that's a P250, it's 100% a kill to Fiku, but instead, it's Rops that tries to clutch in the 1-on-3. And there's just too many angles to deal with. 10-7 the score.
20 HP for Fiku, 5 for Flames. And NeoFrag, I think, was sitting on 50 HP. They only had clocks, nothing else. Now, FaZe would have liked to get the bomb done, but still, that's pretty decent damage, all things considered. Good denial off the bomb as well, and that was in the CT smoke. It's just the sheer nerve on FaZe to go for that. But here we go, the buy is going to be coming in, and Twitch is going to be leading the charge. Everyone is so blind as Flames running around the corner with the MP9. He doesn't know what Carrigan is.
OG fending away with a FAMAS with the AKs that they've picked up, but now it's going to be Rain that's getting dinked down through the smoke. Flames finishes him off, dunks the nade. This has gone horribly wrong for FaZe. This was a full-on investment as well, Blair, and they only have 2 players standing, and they haven't done any real damage to OG.
Huge start for Flames there, and he has been the star player for OG. Almost every single map they've played thus far in the Roobet Cup. Once again, being such a nuisance there towards mid. Now down to Rops and Brokey though, Vince. How many times have we seen this duo pull off miraculous things? But this is looking unlikely. Brokey only able to trade after a ton of damage has been dealt in his direction, and he's crossed on over, and this could provide him a window, but now the jig is up. They know exactly where he is. There's going to be CTs waiting for him, 3 in fact. And a clean round for OG. They survived the first test with, and they passed with flying colors, just the 1 casualty.
Yeah, for me, that was a pretty important moment on OG, not just to build their confidence, but also to knock down the money of FaZe early on. Trade up to some AKs, get rid of those SMGs and the FAMAS that was in play. And completely agree with you. I think Flames has definitely established himself right now as the pillar and the rock of this team. There's a reason why in the pre-game segment they were comparing him with Rain. Speaking of Rain, he has ran straight through the Molotov. That liquid fire is going to hurt. 41 HP remaining. He's in the smoke, but there's 3 CTs fairly close by him. So once that smoke clears, It doesn't fare very well for Rain, who pushes into the cave, and Neo just forces him away with the AK-47.
Frag's been having a hell of a game, despite a bit of a struggle for his team overall in the first half. If he and Flames could come online like this simultaneously, this could be big. Flames shutting this one down. A bit of some easy kills there against just the pistols, and Rob's at least able to reply back by finding the beleaguered Nexa, who has been struggling a little bit individually speaking. And this is a bit of a surprise, right? Because Nexa was instrumental in the win OG had yesterday. It was Nexa, it was Flames, and it was Mantu. Right now, while Nexa might not be delivering in the server, NeoFrag definitely is alongside Flames. Here we go, another buy coming out here for FaZe. And for OG, just one away from tying things up.
Fearing the worst from that, a 10-5 halftime score. But OG, to their credit, have bounced back. And they bounce back hard. That is a huge grenade. Boost up over. Brokey shows himself. Spray is good to not just secure the kill onto Brokey, but do a lot of damage to Twists. 17 HP left for him. And OG again, getting all the trades going in their favor early on. Rain just got destroyed through that wall. 27 HP left for the Norwegian as well. OG are doing a great job of just forcing away FaZe and guaranteeing that they're getting respected in return. As you have FaZe are very deep back and trying to come up with some ideas and hatch a master plan.
The Nexa doing to Karrigan what Karrigan was doing to OG time and time again. Great flash to peek towards ramp. 50 seconds on the clock. FaZe still have time. They still have options, but they have just 2 incendiaries, no smokes. Rain making a lot of noise, but he will be found. The boost comes in. Twist so very low, and a great transfer from Faku to get both the kills. And that is a flawless round from OG. They're winning these buy rounds from FaZe in a very convincing fashion. I also got to point out, I love what OG did with that mid control, right? They waited for the boost to come in on top of the smoke. That's something that teams are now starting to do. We actually saw OG do it yesterday on their T side multiple times to take care of that mid play from Entropiq, and they're able to counter it from FaZe as well. Because now with the change, with the lack of boxes towards short, a lot of teams are going to be going for the boost to try and catch a CT aggressing towards lane. And OG, they seem to be aware of the small little things. So that is good awareness, good control of mid, and FaZe not even able to find a singular kill.
Just been a bit of a reoccurring theme on this half so far. It's not just been OG getting fortunate timings or a couple of lineups through the smoke. Oh, they've been comprehensively outplaying FaZe these last 5 rounds. And they must be credited with that. Smoke on the cross in, HE and Molotov tossed in return. So that will keep FaZe at arm's reach. Still plenty of time left. They do have some more smoke, some more flashes and Molotovs. But it's the lack of firepower that's more of a problem here. Just one Galil, and that's in the arms of Karrigan. Now, Karrigan has been the heavy hitter for this game. Not something you say too often, but it has been the case here. Molly's now tossed in. Rain picks up the first eagle headshot, but there's Mantu, and Nex has just been waiting here the entire time behind the boxes. Double spray in alongside Mantu's AWP. And all the T's are falling apart, but Rain able to get round the side. Mantu couldn't hear this, but Fiku digs his AWP out of the ditch that had been put into. And that could have just saved him the round, because if Rain picks up the kill there, it's a 2-on-2, and both the CTs were coming from CT spawn.
Mantu even tried to go for the spawn jump, right? Trying to bait out a shot Rain just ran on in, trying to bait out a shot from Mantu, but Mantu was so focused on Rops, he had no idea Rain was just running up next to him. But yeah, like you said, Vince, if he gets taken down there and Rain's able to survive, suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. Off in hands of Rain, and broken aside, things could have gotten a little dicey. So FaZe able to deal a bit of damage, but still round will be that of OG's. Flames tickling at his feet, still able to get the kill and stick around.
Oh, NeoFrag up on the boxes. Rain had no idea, and there's no one there on the side of FaZe to do anything about it. It's a free kill as he just backs off into the sanctuary of the cave side of the B site. And FaZe have got nothing for it, Blair. It's not as if they've made moves elsewhere on the map. They still have 2 players in the middle, to contend with. 2 players on B. And they're moving through here with an AWP, which is obviously nowhere near the primary weapon of choice in a 3v5 when you have to take a site and be aggressive. And a couple mollies and a couple of smokes. But distinctly lacking in manpower. And an extra rotation can come through quickly as Nexa's playing a way more deep passive angle on the A side. They have a very good read of the situation here because of their positions in middle.
What do FaZe do? 40 seconds. And Flames, sure he saw them. He saw the head. And that's going to be Fiku lobbing in a bit of utility inside of the Jaguar position, and Flames. Oh, the timing here. Oh, the timing was great. The spray a little rough though, and Twist is going to get the trade, and as a pivot back towards the A bomb site, Twist with a second kill, and all of a sudden there is a window. It's a small window, Vince. The FaZe with 16 seconds. I don't think they could even make it.
They can get to the bomb, but they probably can't deal with Nexa, because if he just gets 1 kill here from behind the box, that's going to be the round. And it's not just 1, it's 2. FaZe with nowhere near enough time to feasibly get on the site, secure the site, and get the plant down. And that is now 7 unanswered rounds for OG on their CT side, and it forces FaZe into action. They call their first tactical timeout.
About time they're realizing this is not looking good at all. The thing is, 5 rounds on the T side in the previous version of Ancient, I would have been, if I'm OG at that point, I'm like super comfortable, right? But with the new changes coming in, I still didn't know like where it stands right now. Like, is 5 rounds enough? Is it still the same as the previous iteration? Although it's much more easier now for the Ts overall to get, lane control, for example. But still, at the same time, I don't think it would be such a drastic shift where it's kind of like 8-7 or something of that nature. So I still had a couple of question marks. The sample size is still very small for us to gauge how many rounds we kind of need on the T side here, where we can start to feel a little comfortable. But for OG, it looks like 5 just might be enough. It's 10-5, mind you, and now they've won 7 rounds. It's Karrigan, at least able to take on Neofrag. That's a huge find. But Flames looking to stand and deliver 3 huge kills with the spray. Rops will reply back, but still man advantage for OG.
A 2-man advantage now, and Karrigan on 33 HP, who started the round off with his run and gun style with the Tech 9. Now at least has the fortune of having the AK and the bomb, but he's walking into the site where there's 2 players. Fiku is joined by Mantu's AWP. And Karrigan does have time. That is the only thing that's working in his favor at this stage. But he is running in headfirst against Nexa, who is looking to the T-spawn. Has a good idea. He is switching back and forth. The timing may work against him. No, he hasn't. Karrigan down. OG 8 in a row now. FaZe will have a very solid buy. But can they do anything with that at this point? We've reached that stage where OG's CT side has just looked like a fortress.
It has been a fortress, and especially it's come down to mid. They've done such a good job of controlling mid, primarily Flames. I mean, he has been incredible and ably helped out by his teammates as well towards mid. So if I'm FaZe at this point, I don't know, I might just throw kind of a Hail Mary and just go for a faster play towards one of these 2 bomb sites. And sure, because of the mid presence that OG have, they will be able to rotate real quickly, but at least you might be able to find a foothold on the bomb site. And at least get the bomb down, perhaps, because they've been struggling to even get the bomb down. Now Man2 with the AWP towards A, the lone defender. And look at how deep Flames is. He's still looking around to the bottom of mid. And finally, as the smokes dissipate, he will fall back to Donut. So FaZe, this time, instead of trying to take the fight at mid, they will slow things down. They will allow the time to expire, so that his CTs fall back to a more passive position, and now they slowly start to congregate towards his A bomb site.
They're throwing mollies and smokes out on middle, trying to bait this off, and it is drawing the 2 A players through on Donut. Looking for a potential boost as well. They decide against it, going to be going in, but Man2 gets flashed out. It's a good flash. You're going to check their angles. This is one of the changes that recently came into Ancient in full effect. It allows you to go for that swing in. And Twists, claiming both of the frags, opens up business to A. Still need to bring the bomb over, though, and get it planted down. That's going to be in the arms of Brokey. And the spray is good through the smoke. Fiku nullifies Rops. There is a rotational play in effect, though. Rain is watching from red. He can swing around the back of them, but NeoFrag checks his angles, checks his back, and delivers the final blow to Rain. Puts it down to Twists and Brokey. They have control of the Temple, but now, with that wall being locked in, he can't peek through on the Temple side. He has to go for the white swing, and his partner in crime has been smoked off. NeoFrag with the upper hand onto Brokey, then tags Twists through the smoke. They're going for the full defuse, and Twists can't do anything about this. OG secure a 14th round.
This is after Twist found 2 openings as well. OG, what a retake. Oh, that has got to be a punch in the nether regions for FaZe. They finally get the bomb down. Twist, I didn't even see how he got the second kill onto Mantu, who was waiting for him. It looked like just a tap on his head. Oh, just clean stuff from Twist, and yet they fall. NeoFrag catching Rain on the look as well, leaving Brokey and Twist to hold on to the bomb in the 2v3. Twist, he tried his best, but when you have no vision, what can you do? As Carrigan and Twist able to open it up at mid this time around, but the trades are still good. It's a 3v3. As NeoFrag, a dangerous game, he gets dinked, but somehow survives and takes down Rops.
They've made moves onto the site, but Rain is all alone. The bomb carrier of Brokey is miles off of him. On the A side of mid. Rain's now given his position away and he's being flanked into. He must realize that this is a possibility. Another player may be around the cave area. Which is the case. Brokey can hear footsteps. FiQ moving through on the T side. Does he check his angles? He does. Does connect a shot, but it's not enough to kill Brokey. And on NeoFrag coming out into the open. Should be a goner. Rain will shut him down in the back. FaZe clinging on for dear life. And it's that man too. The man that dropped 29 on this very map. The last time we got a chance to watch them. May not have had that same level of impact, but he could basically bury FaZe if he were to clutch this round now. Plant successfully down on the B site. CTs have looked so sharp in OG these last 10 rounds, but this is maybe where FaZe start to twist their way back into this. Mantu knows that his days are numbered if he pushes to the side. He's just not got the health for it. He was hoping one of the players pushed into him, which they have now, and that gives him a chance. But Brokey snatches his life away at the cost of 4 lives. But FaZe, they've broken the curse. That is their first T round.
And it took 10 rounds. It took 10 rounds to get Vince. It's been so very hard for them. Good work here. The re-aggression from OG getting punished. I like the way they played this one. It was such a disadvantageous position for FaZe, but they're able to slow it down. They're able to be calm and manipulate the aggression from OG. Speaking of aggression, look at NeoFrag go.
Oh, 2 kills and there's no response. FaZe, they get a foot in this half and it's quickly kicked away. And they come crumbling down. The leg sweep continues, and now stamping on them all on the ground is FiQ. Twists down to 36. Rop's the only healthy player left, and FaZe have just lost. This T half has been toothless. Take nothing away from OG, though, of course. They've played this so well. But even with tactical timeouts being called, even with them having chances, just nothing's worked out for FaZe. And now they find themselves on a 2-on-5, which, I mean, surely this isn't doable.
They have time, but yeah, unless OG just gift them free kills, this one shouldn't be taking place. In the previous round, bear in mind, they were able to bring it back primarily because of the regression from OG, the forward positioning, despite having the man advantage. And this time, OG are giving them the respect. You can see how they just look tucked on in. FiQ just trying to bait out a shot. And if I'm FaZe, I might even be considering holding on to your guns here. I don't really see a way they can come into this unless Rops is able to find something. I think NeoFrag saw someone. I think he saw someone.
20 seconds. Rops can peek in, and even with that kill, lightning fast headshot, it doesn't really matter. There's too many CTs, there's too many hurdles, there's too many obstacles. Twist connects one, but 7 seconds, multiple players face him. FaZe, 4 map points. It is OG's choice of map, of course, and we were kind of expecting, I think a lot of people expected FaZe to 2-0 this series. With Mirage and Overpass, Of course, FaZe still have every chance to take this series, but I think we also have to tip our hat to OG here, because we were thinking, right, they basically wrecked Entropiq. Very different ball game to playing FaZe. They won both pistols. A lot of caveats were thrown in the mix. They're showing that they are a legit ancient team here, and they're making FaZe look very ordinary on this T-half.
Yeah, the score might look kind of close. Oh my lord, the barrage utility being deployed. 2 players down to 60 HP.
Oh, they're just running straight into the blender here, FaZe. They need entries. They need them right now. They needed them yesterday, to be honest. They lost 4 players without any kind of retaliation. And OG, they take their choice of map, 16-11.
And Eternal Fire just grinding out the comeback and closing it out. So I'm more than happy to see more Mirage action. This one, of course, being the map pick from FaZe, and OG looking to get this done in just a 2-map series.
Wow, I think if they did manage to pull that off, it would be a way bigger upset than the big victory against FaZe, especially if this is a fairly straightforward one. I don't think it will be. FaZe very, very solid when it comes to their Mirage, but they haven't been quite looking at their level best, and they haven't been for the last few weeks, in all honesty. Bomb is getting planted down, though. No early casualties. There is a flank coming through from Nexa. He's on the T-spawn side. Meanwhile, other 4 players congregating, 3 on CT boxes, and a 4th player coming over as well from NeoFrag. So it is a full 5-on-5 retake. Flashes in, and Rop's landing a brisk, crisp 1-tap with the P250. NeoFrag and Nexa, though, do come back with 2 of their own, and both healthy. They can pick up a kit as well, and they have a smoke. This could get interesting. 2 players on the connector side, though, but how is their lineup? Full defuse coming in. There's the spray. They have it locked down from Twists and Rain. So FaZe, they lost both pistol rounds on Ancient, but they're going to remedy the situation here on Mirage.
Yeah, very fast play coming in. There was the, I think there was a failed smoke there towards mid, on towards jungle, but apart from that, getting the bomb down, then Robs, as you pointed out, clean shots. There was still the danger to smoke into kit in the hands of OG. When you have 3 Ts there, and there was only one angle from which you could stick that diffuse. Good start here for FaZe. You can see all rifles out, and of course for the side of OG, it is going to be the Deagles and armor. Mantu with the scout, which I do believe he just purchased for himself, but he keeps a little bit of extra money in his wallet though, just so he can go for the off buy at the earliest opportunity. Right now for FaZe, it's about trying to avoid his Deagles. And one thing we saw in the first game, Vince, between OG and FaZe in this very tournament, was whenever FaZe were a little too loose in their approach, they were getting punished by these Deagles.
That's true, yeah. It kind of harkens back to what you were saying before about the individual talent that is on this team of OG. They may have their issues when it comes to the tactics and the cohesion and the chemistry right now as they still find their way through. It's still a fairly young team, together as 5, of course. But when it comes to aim, when it comes to the ability to rip open plays, just as NeoFrag has shown firsthand with his Deagle, they can get it done. That's a Galil that trades hands, and in all honesty, OG, if they can hold on to these weapons, Deagle can be dropped from NeoFrag to one of his teammates. They can keep a scout and another Deagle in play with that Galil. They'll have a decent-ish buy into the next one. Brokey, though, going to try and rip away Fiku's life, who is, he's very confident. You have to say he's confident re-peeking that many times. And it does put Mantu in a horrible spot, by the way, because now Rain can just push straight through on the CT boxes. So NeoFrag, the player that picked up the girl and took a ton of damage in the process, is the only remaining OG member. But it does seem like he'll probably live to see the 3rd round.
And just the Galil in the hands of NeoFrag here. That's the only danger they have to contend with. He did have a Deagle as well, which I'm assuming is going to be dropped towards one of his teammates. But FaZe doing a good job overall. Just losing one player. Mantu not expecting Rain to have just walked on in all the way through CT spawn. So there we have it. The Galil with NeoFrag and a Deagle handed to Mantu. Mantu's got 3750. We will see the Zoom banger come into play come around before. Right now, though, should be, at least on paper, a pretty comfortable rounding for OG. They've opted to go for a bit of a stack here, though. We have Mantu with Deagle, a couple of USPs, and we have the other 2 players with jungle as well. The backup is close by.
Broke out first. Be spotted by multiple players. Oh, he actually just dips through on the shadow side as Mantu went above, hiding the smoke. He was bypassed, but in doing so now, gap in the smoke, Mantu could set this round on fire. He could explode. Twists has the bomb. He's going to be going in for the plant. Gets denied. And now in goes Mantu again. The problem is, though, he needed to connect 2 shots back to back to give himself a realistic chance. It won't be happening, but OG can fall back onto this buy.
If he had like one of his teammates stay alive, which could have been a distraction, but then yeah, I kind of expected him to swing out a little bit wider and take the take the kill onto the CT spawn player first, and then go for the planter. But still, it would have been a very, very rough task indeed. So FaZe, sure, they lose a couple of players, but still going to be pretty happy with the way things have played out over here. The buy going to be coming on in. Mantu, as we said earlier, he's got the money, he's got the funds for the off buy. No kits present here for the side of OG, as Brokey early attempt at finding a pick onto Nexa. That won't transpire. For OG, not really looking to contest mid here. It's going to be a pretty kind of a default setup here. We have Flames playing towards Connector, we have Mantu with the op towards Ticket, and we have Fiku, who's going to be kind of the A anchor. As Flame just spots an elbow off Rain, but not able to deal as much damage as he would have probably wanted. And FaZe are starting to slowly congregate on this A bomb site. 2 players from Palace and 3 coming in from the Connector position, and might even be someone getting boosted into jungle.
Concerning aspect here, though, of FaZe is that with having no players come out of ramp, it does make this a little bit one more dimensional. But NeoFrag has been alleviated off the battlefield for the time being. Important moment comes up and Twists flicks to the head of Flames. Nice shot from Mantu, traded out, but Fiku is there to stand and deliver one more. Nexa, though, in no position to realistically attain anything from this spot, and Brokey, who is pushing through on the CT spawn, is there to greet him with the AWP. So 4-0 start. This is more like it from FaZe. This is what we were expecting to see more on the Ancient T side. But winning that pistol, making sure they keep the momentum pushing forward.
Great finds from Twist, though, just so quick. And then the moment they get the 2 openings, instantly strike. And even though there were replies coming in from Mantu and Fiku, the trades were instantaneous. And Nexa a little too late to the party. There was not much you can do there. This pistol's going to be coming on out, and Karrigan is going to be just trying to sell a bit of a ruse towards A. He's going to come running on out and making a lot of noise, while the remaining members of his teammates, members of his team rather, just going to come charging out mid. NeoFrag needs to be careful, and it is going to be a bit of a messy spray from Rain, but he still will get 1 kill.
OG trying desperately to throw out everything they can, throwing the Deagles, throwing the 5.7s, see what lands through the smokes. Because in terms of just straight up gameplay, they have been completely and utterly played off the server in these first 5 rounds so far. 5.7 at this range though on Fiku. Tailor-made to maybe pick up a couple of kills, especially if he goes unchecked. But he has players surrounding him, gets 2, had no right to pick up 2 frags. It gives his team a chance, but they're all over on the B site. They'll have to move in from catwalk. They need an insta-headshot, but it's Karrigan that delivers 2 alongside Twists. And although Mantu had a couple of chances, it's not going to really yield anything. 5-0 lead now for FaZe as they move on fire.
5 back-to-back. And they do lose a few players, which is keeping the money a little honest, but the op will be saved by Karrigan for Brokey as well. Great attempt from Fiku to find... Matt, listen, Karrigan has been very, very solid when it comes to fragging prowess. Sure, it was losing effort on Ancient, but he was a top fragger for his team. And most of those kills were, some of them were very impressive as well. And this is not just in this series. All the games that FaZe have played, even in the loss they had against Big, Karrigan wasn't kind of like a dead weight when it came to just pulling his weight in the server when it comes to the fragging department. And this is something which he spoke about in the interview as well, Vince. I think it was the last post IEM Dallas where he's like, I'm individually not at the best level I could possibly be in, and I'm going to be putting in a little bit of work. And that is very evident in the server as well. So shout out to Karrigan. I mean, he is a bit of a fellow boomer like us as well, so I'm even more impressed.
Yeah, it's also just the humility and to be as humble, but as driven and as hungry. And I think it's what Yanko said, like, these guys are competitors. They're here to win. They're here to be the best, you know, and he knows in himself, especially Karrigan. He's been around for so long. We both know him. We've both spoke with him a number of times. He's a very chill kind of guy. He knows if he's not playing his best CS. Mantu, meanwhile, though, has been playing very well the last couple of days, but he'll come to an end. Twists traded out from Fiku. Sprays labored, but Flames does finally get it done. And that gives him a 2-player advantage. Make that a 3-player advantage now. Rob's coming out on Palace has been unchecked so far, but that one shot will give his position away, as he will be backing off. The bomb also was dropped down on the ramp side, so he may try and retrieve this. They have enough money, more than enough money, to buy into the next one. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to at least get rid of some of these pesky CTs. First kill will not go his way. And there's an AWP down there, which I think Fiku's about to find, but decides not to pick it up. They're happy to just stick with the one.
Yeah. Double up setup still viable, but if you're feeling comfortable with the rifles, why the hell not? We know how good the individuals, the youngsters can be for OG just with the automatic rifles, and here we have it. Mantu with some aggressive sniping. Great stuff there. And then Fiku with the follow-up. And Flames doing a very good job here, taking up what Rain and Carrigan are just creeping on in through the smoke. And FaZe have usually been very solid in going for this A-splits, but finally facing a little bit of pressure as Flames catches a blinded Carrigan and is looking for more. The second kill as well. And Flames back-to-back rounds where it's found Rain and Carrigan.
Whereas the money was oozing. They're able to bathe in the amount of dollars that they had on FaZe. That has quickly been stripped down to bare bones. It's only Rops that has any kind of surplus cash before the end of this round. It's not like round loss bonus is spiking here. This would be their second lost round in a row. So OG in a very good position to at least start to turn this back into a semblance of momentum. 2 players on B. They will be tested. Both NeoFrag and Nexa over here, although Nexa is making moves because they have no middle control, because no eyes on window. He has to move away into the kitchen and have a quick peek, and this means that NeoFrag is completely alone. He's being swept in on. They haven't checked this angle though, and now Twist is going to drop down. Double spray from NeoFrag, but he doesn't get the second. Rob survives on 18 HP, and in a post plant, this is now a winnable round for FaZe.
Absolutely winnable round, especially when you have Brokey alive with the AWP. And Robs, no Bogdan's Law in play here, Vince. He's going to just stick onto his AK-47. And despite the bomb getting planted, OG is slowly gathering together. Full shot needed to land, but Brokey with that whiff, it could be the round still going the way of OG.
It's an uncharacteristic miss as well, isn't it? He's been playing so well, and Rops, he still couldn't write him off even on low HP. He gets one, but that's going to be all. They do have kits on both players. There's enough time. They have an opportunity to get 2 ups if they want them. Decide against it again. They're happy to just keep the status quo into effect. That does mean, though, that OG have 2 rounds in a row. Yes, it was a little bit tighter than they were hoping for, especially considering the advantage they had, but it's still around. And this is the moment you're talking about before. Flames aggression out, 2 kills go his way, and from there on out, it should have been smooth sailing from OG. You had a couple more waves crashing against the side of the boat, I guess, but they still got the job done. They still reached their destination of a second round.
Yeah, there was a world there. If Robs is able to get the low player coming in from apartments, he could have maybe got the isolated the 1v1, but still, it was a hard ask indeed. And moment Brokey doesn't get even a single kill with the AWP. That was FaZe's fate sealed. That being said, still 3-round lead. Now, just the pistols here to wield. Although OG have looked pretty solid in some of these anti-eco rounds. Fiku up close. He has been a bit of a thorn in the ankle of FaZe towards his ramp position, and aggression coming out as well towards mid. This could be risky. It's about the timing in Flames. Just gonna stick around with Brokey though. Still able to find NeoFrag before he falls. And the timing here is massive. Carrigan finds Mantu and he knows where Fiku is. He has very good inkling as to where he is.
He's dropped down as well, so this could actually catch Fiku off guard if he keeps looking up. He turns to his right-hand side. Oh, he must have thought they'd already pushed out of connector. And OG, for the second consecutive round, have a vast lead, and it just slips away. This time, though, it looks like FaZe will be able to punish them fully. A little bit of scrappiness there, though, tossing the bomb to each other and no one watching jungle. So maybe this round isn't done just yet. Nexa moving through on the CT side, going in for that wide swing. They would have heard Rops shoot out from this very box just a few moments ago. And Nexa with a perfect timing on that peak twist, though. That one deke totally destroying Nexa. But he has no idea as to where the final player resides. Both are low. 18 HP plays 31. He's checking the angles, but he goes right when he should have gone left. He zigs when he should have zagged. A nice effort. And OG, though, do just about get their third round.
Holy hell, Flames saving his team there. 4K for him. But FaZe almost made it happen. And what you can make happen for yourself is claim a free balance. Go to roobet.com and use the code HEADSHOT with a double T at the end over there. And can claim your free code. I think it's limited, so you want to hurry up. In the meantime, OG able to get it 3 rounds. But Vince, the amount of casualties they suffered that round, it's going to really hamper their economy. So this is a chance for FaZe to break through and go on a bit of another streak of their own again.
Exactly, 100%. That's been a consistent issue. OG are getting rounds, but they've been a bit sloppy, scrappy, and therefore one mistake, one loss here, and it could be a one-way ticket to reset City. And with FaZe taking a seriously solid T-half. Pressure being applied directly on connector with flashes and smokes. Flames fully flashed himself, but does back away just in time. It's at the cost of health, but he will live.
Flames, such a dangerous game. And he was already tagged on to 46 HP, but comes out on top. There's a danger man taken out early on here. Twist to fall. And no reply found by FaZe, but they have got quite a bit of control towards B short.
Mantu smartly just backs out of the B-app side, especially as catwalk control is no longer prevalent. The AWP shot narrowly misses out. Cavalry now arriving, support structure in place. The bomb, though, is still over on A, and it's been found by Fiku, who is alone. A very important kill. And our Rop's not for the first time is all that remains on the FaZe team. We're stuck on the ramp, gets spotted. They know he's on the A side. They know the bomb is dropped outside a connector. You don't want to face him one by one here, though, OG. Rops is more than capable of clutching this. 17 seconds to go, but all 3 players peek him at once. And OG taking no risks this time. Much better round. They do lose 2 players, but it's now a chance to build up that economy.
That was a bit strange from FaZe, making a bit of an unforced error, I feel like. Firstly, Fames finds Twist. That's a great job over there. But Rain able to reply through the smoke. This is the play, though. Like, Brokey in the smoke with an AWP and the C4. The moment he gets found there, that's it. And the 3 Ts were so far away from each other as well. Robs is all the way towards Ram. Brokey was connector alone with the AWP. The 3rd T was inside of B apartments. Seemed very disconnected from the rest of the team. But Twist, he is going to connect the shot onto Nexa.
Started a couple of outrageous 1Ds. And there's Rain also showing that he's more than capable. Full flash. Flames didn't want to overextend. He backed away. Brokey was fully flashed, though. From our perspective, easy to see, but Flames is in the heat of the moment. The pressure on his shoulders. He knows that if he goes down, this round is probably going with him. In the meanwhile, though, Rops is making the most of his opportunity, pushes through there on the back. They've now heard that. Both the AWPers going to be trained on his position, but Mantu's also scared in case B site's being pushed upon. And considering that the bomb is now rotating all the way around back to T-spawn, it looks like that could be the final destination. But they have picked off Rain in the process. Mantu's about to get pushed in, though, if he's not careful. Rops is still toying with the idea of getting in his face. And with more players pushing out through B, he needs to get this kill. What a scrappy fight that is, and Rops comes out ahead.
Rops is supposed to be the distraction, Vince. He was not supposed to stay alive for this long. And Rops doing everything, finally will fall. Oh, but those whiff shot, they might just have lost the round here, Vince. They're going to come charging on in nonetheless. Twist, though, with the AWP, a missed shot. Brokey dealing a bit of damage. Still winnable here.
Oh, it's still very winnable as they just picked up the kill. Flames is low on 6 HP, but they have the kits. Pushing onto the site. Brokey needs to line up this Deagle. There's one. They know where he is. Getting pushed from the left-hand side. He's trying to play the time. He's trying to mess with the minds of Miku, and then passes a bullet through there afterwards. FaZe take their 6th, but it's another round where OG had the advantages, and they just let it slip away.
Oh, that's such heartbreak for OG. Mantu, they knew. Rops knew he was the last man towards the B bomb side. Firstly, great opener coming in from Twist and Rain here, but Mantu needed that kill. And Rops is doing such a great job just distracting him, but at the end, he even gets the kill. And in the end, Brokey with the clutch, that shot as well, the final one. Ugh, crisp onto Fiku. And FaZe, they find their 6th. The previous time with the pistols, they made it so close. This time, they clinch it out. And OG, look at the buy, Vince. It's rough. 2 pistols, a FAMAS, 2 A1s, and a utility. Just 2 smokes remaining with 1 minute and 24 seconds on the clock. I don't even see a single kit to work with here.
Yeah, no kits. They did have a chance, though. I don't know how Twist survived. It honestly looked as though he'd been absolutely peppered by the A1S in B-Apps. It was Neofrag that sprayed him down. He took damage in return, dropped the M4 to flames instantly afterwards. So 2 players of the Walking Wounded. Both of them, honestly, probably should have fallen out of the server. In the meanwhile, though, FiKu with a 5-7. We've already seen him have quite a bit of impact with this very weapon so far. Player in sandwich as well as he goes in for the wide swing. There's a lot of targets. There's too many for him to contend with. And now Mantu was feeling very uncomfortable in the sandwich. Tried to back out, and Twists will deny him that opportunity. In doing so, FaZe are looking almost guaranteed to pick up their 7th round. And as you mentioned, considering the fact that the buy is so bad and they still retain both of the rifles they came into the round with, of course they want to just hold on to these for the next one.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, but this is just so freaking rough here for OG. And yeah, Mandu tried to make his great escape, but gets spotted in the smoke. No escape from Twist. 7-4 will be the scoreline. It was pretty tightly contested initial events, but FaZe, they're looking pretty solid here right now, and it all came off that just the Deagles where they almost won the round, and then the following round they actually managed to pull it off, and that just, it was the left punch and the right hook for the money for the side of OG. Sure, they've saved a couple of guns here though. The round loss bonus might still be able to eke out a buy, but it won't be comfortable. It will still be. Might even see a scout coming into play, maybe a couple of FAMASs, or they might just opt to go for a full save here. And there we go, the full save, I believe, is the right idea here. Just equalize the money out. You'll have a buy come around number 13. For the time being, try to work around these 2 rifles. They have just 1 smoke to work with, but they have found the opening kill. That is the possibility of another gun getting retrieved. And indeed, it will. Neofrag's going to pick up the AK, and he's got Kevlar, Vince.
He most certainly does. And so FaZe, maybe it's their turn to sweat this one out. Maybe it's their turn to let the round get just too far ahead of them. Smoke down onto connector. This will afford Rain the catwalk control, which he's going to move in on right now. Maybe try and wrap around in towards the window from ladder room. Rocks to the spray. We've seen him push out with pallets a few times. There's a double stack there though, and Brokey is also chipped in. Rain has also dealt with players elsewhere on the map, but Brokey with the wide swing, taking Flames out of the equation with a molly down on jungle. They don't know it, but the site is completely vacant at this stage. It should be free to plant on. They're now going to be finalizing that in. Neofrag typically is the B player, so that call will be relayed, and with the AK in his hands, and again the money being in rough shape, again not having a kit, I don't think he wants to go in for this one. Yeah, he's just going to be holding on to this AK, maybe try and set up for an exit frag. I'd be very surprised if he actually tries to push into the site. You can already see half the fuse is gone on this bomb. So FaZe, whatever happens from here on out, they are going to be leading come the second half. It's all about adding a couple of nice, juicy bonus rounds on top of this now. Whichever way you spin it though, Blair, this is a solid performance. It's been scrappy, don't get me wrong. There's been a couple of questionable decisions and a couple of strange sprays, but they are in a very good spot here on this T half.
Oh, absolutely. Guaranteed lead going to the second half. Their map pick. I like the aggression coming to it short, but great job there. Great awareness from Robs to find FiKu as well. Everyone on the side of OG's been having a bit of a nightmare on the CT side, individually speaking. Neofrag, he was really popping off on Ancient alongside Flames. He's been very quiet. Man 2, he's had his struggles as well with the AWP too. And Flames, though, he seems to be we said it earlier as well, he is the consistent pillar, consistent rock for the side of OG, and he continues to deliver, despite the fact that his team is right now trailing by 4 rounds. But if they can get to 7, Vince, they can still see OG put up a bit of a challenge here. But Rain, after taking a bit of damage at top of mid, will peel back. FaZe setting up for what is seemingly looking like a a hit towards the B bomb site, but then they slowly do fade back. Bomb will be retrieved by Twist. They have left Robs just lurking towards the A ramp position. And after a little bit of noise being made towards mid here, they will slowly crawl their way towards the A bomb site. Resmoke for jungle to enable karrigan some space to work with.
Space attempting to be attained. The flick down from Fiku. He's looking to try and torch this A ramp push. Still alive, still kicking. Triple spray in from Flames additionally. And OG have locked it down. This round was building up for so long, and the climax was over so fast that FaZe are just reeling. Their heads spinning. The first round in 3. And maybe OG can get to those 7 rounds he touched on just before.
It was just a re-aggression there from Fiku. It was also a dry peek as well. And great hold from Flames, though. Can't take anything away. They weren't able to trade. And at that point, karrigan had to go for a play, walking through the smoke, but someone waiting for him. For FaZe, though, it's a little unfortunate, though, because Robs is holding the anger for so very long, and I feel like with his teammates arriving, maybe his concentration lapsed for a second, and that was the opportunity for Fiku to strike. Flash is beautiful, as Flames will find a blinded Rain. The hit, however, is still going to be coming on towards the A-bomb site.
FaZe not slowing down, they're just trying to recover and push in with the flashbangs. karrigan, the spearhead, taking down 3. A perfectly placed flashbang on the side of Brokey, and the rest falls into place. Fiku's not done just yet, though. Spraying in on towards Rops. He is capable of standing his ground. Nexa had the right idea, but the smoke is going to be in his eyes. Post plant now up to the IGL of OG. That smoke is going to dwindle pretty soon. karrigan actually shooting through there, and then decides to push in. Although he's lost his life, they can now focus their attention over onto jungle. I think Nexa at this stage has decided this is a little bit too tall a task, and Twists won't allow him to save that AK. FaZe will take a 9-5 lead, but that flash onto Connector and the follow-up from karrigan pretty much turned this round on its head.
The kills karrigan is finding. We saw even some of the rounds with the Deagles as well. Oh, brilliant stuff here. Just a slight little pause to control the recoil as well. And karrigan showing that not only is he calling a pretty solid T side for his team, but he is very capable of hanging with the rest of the boys. Kill spread is really good as well. Top fragger 12 kills, bottom fragger is 8 on Rain, and I take his name and he will fall. It's a nice early kill going away to CTs, and a tag as well, but he might be hunted down here. Will Man 2, and there we go, karrigan with the spray taking on Man 2. Neofrag at least able to take on Twist in the meantime as they go scampering up the apartments. And this is OG just fighting fire with fire. Now Brokey left is going to try and time the shot, but he's missing everything, and they're just charging on in, holding W and mowing down every single member of FaZe.
You've got to respect it from OG, man. Realizing that the slow rounds, the standard default setups hasn't necessarily been working out too great. Mix it up. Throw in a Hail Mary play. Why not? This is the perfect time to do it. And our Rops, 1-on-4. He's had a lot of these situations. He's typically playing over on the Palace side. Has retrieved the bomb, but there is also going to be a flank coming in. Fiku's now getting into Palace. 2 players watching. And Neofrag doesn't need any backup. So OG don't get completely destroyed or dismantled on their CT side, but FaZe will surely be very happy that they lead 9-6 coming through into that second half.
Yeah, 9 rounds on the T side is definitely something they'll be happy with, but I am getting slight shades of deja vu from yesterday's game, although it was 2 wholly different teams, Vince. Eternal Fire and Imperial, Imperial had a massive lead. I think it was like 8-2, 9-3, something of that nature, and Eternal Fire just brought it back and closed it out. But FaZe aren't Imperial. They are still a force to be reckoned with, and on a T side, they didn't manage to rock OG's world, but as we saw, OG able to clamber back a little bit, as we have a bit of a waterfall setup seemingly here. Nexa and Flames, a ton of utility in their hands. Smoke will be deployed and the flashes to pop.
Smokes onto stairs, onto jungle. Side. Forces Rain to go huge. That flash barely affects him. That flash did nothing at all. All the CTs are able to stand in their position, and now Flames has to go in above and beyond. He picked up 18 kills in the first half. An absolute monster performance. Top frags the server by a long distance, and he's still alive with two of his teammates. Good flash, great follow-up. Fiku takes CT control, and now they can build their base. They can build their fortress off this. And Fiku and Mantu put the last nails in the coffin of the pistol. An OG win. That's 3 out of 4 pistols they've won so far on this best of 3.
And what an important pistol to win as well. Trailing by 3. And on Ancient, the second pistol, sure, it was nice, but they still had a lead to work with, and they were still looking solid there. But this is so much more crucial, especially considering it's a map pick. I'm not too sure what Brokey was thinking there, Vince. Hoping to catch someone off guard. Instead, he just got penetrated by all the Glock bullets. In the end, OG somehow turning it around. It was looking very 50-50 for a moment, though, as the flashes will pop. Rops is inside of the smoke, but Twist finding 1 kill, dealing even further damage as Rops waiting at the edge of the smoke, but he will be found by Man2 on 10 HP.
It's that man Carrigan again, but they think they saw 2 players over here. There's still weakened members on this server, though. Right now for the T's, and Rain's got it with 3! Spins back and forth! Ridiculous from Rain, but OG walk into the trap head first, and they were so weakened by the early encounters from the Deagles, from the CZs, that the MP9 was able to just clutch this one out by itself.
I cannot believe Rain just jumps into the air and wins that duel, and it spins back around and gets the 3rd. That was a right call from OG. They're, all right, the B bomb site's looking uncomfortable. They just pivot back towards A, and it was only Rain they had to contend with, and Rain just stops them in their tracks. And OG, they get shook. They win the pistol, but FaZe back to the winning ways once more. Force of their own again from OG. 1 rifle in play in the hands of Man2. The rest of them, it's Deagles, and not 1 bit of utility, Vince. They have to go for these dry duels, and that does not inspire too much confidence in me.
Twist just shoulder peeking out time after time. 3 kills with him and Brokey. And I'm only down on the bench. A very comfortable cleanup in the end after losing Brokey early on. And I mean, I feel like if FaZe just pull away now and win this like 16-8, 16-9, assuming that OG get back on the board at some point, I'm looking back at that 17th round and I'm saying that might have been the moment. Because OG, they get the pistol, it's 9-7. They win that. I mean, they're right back in this game. It's neck and neck right now. It's super, super close. That could have been the round that really threw this map away.
Twist flexing a little bit with the AK. Bit of an eco cobra around for him, and you know, it's fine. He's been pretty solid overall on this map, so it's totally fine to spat a little bit of stats as Carrigan will isolate the 1 kill. Oh, poor Flames. That was the bomb, Vince. That was the bomb. Rops, though, getting tagged down, 76 HP. Needs to be careful, but it's okay. The bodyguards here, Twist with a beautiful little spray there. Eco frags, but still impressive nonetheless. 12-7 for FaZe, lead by 5. The buy will be coming in for the T's. No AWP yet for Man2. And for FaZe, this should be a pretty solid buy overall. Like, apart from Carrigan, maybe sticking with the MAC-10, the rest of them should have the rifles, and we will also have Brokey with the AWP.
Yeah, Brokey was really blowing hot and cold on that Ancient performance. He's missed a few shots that you'd expect him to land. Maybe a victim of his own success. Twist, in the meanwhile, though, going out, getting the first kill in the Palace, and then just backs away, fades away. Small gap in that smoke. Try and capitalize on this one. The smoke plumes in connector. The head is removed of Rain. Big pick for Man2. Keeping FaZe honest, keeping them on their tiptoes here. They can't take anything for granted.
Rob still looking around the ladder room. And with Carrigan's position inside of B apartments, that's a lot of real estate, or rather at the very least info for FaZe to work with, right? They can commit these 2 players, that is Twist and Brokey, pretty deep in towards ramp. The timing is everything. There is Flames waiting nearby, but he will slowly fall back to group up with the rest of his teammates, and that could be the opportunity here for FaZe to shut this one down.
Yeah, they have the classic bait and switch on ramp. Up, assault rifle. Flames will be in first. Shoulder peeks it. This is where that second proponent of the bait and switch comes into play. With a molly being tossed down, though, they may have a good idea that this is the case, and that's maybe why they felt compelled and confident to just wide swing in. Twist, though, gets one in return. How does he survive that long? No idea, but he's not going to fully punish it. Now Carrigan and Rops funneled away from two smokes. Enough to choke on. They have to just wait this one out. Respect it. Rops, though, as soon as it clears, he'll dice out the head of Flames. And in doing so, now gives OG a lot more to think about. 46 hit points on Mantu. Both healthy on FaZe. Molly's tossed onto the side, though. That's going to force him away. It's the open, and Rops is going to finish off the rest. Nexus position, he has no flashes, nothing to really deal with this bomb defusal. He has to find the timing. He's got the first frag, but it was a labored spray that allowed Rops to punish him. So FaZe will claim their 13th, but that was a real chance for OG.
That was a real chance, and the one thing they're going the way of OG initially, despite the aggressive hole coming in from Brokey and his teammate towards ramp, was the fact that there was no one watching Palace, right? They weren't expecting two players coming in from Palace, and the timing was perfect. Neofrag taking out Brokey, and sure, Twist finds one, but then Rob's catching the player as a smoke fades, I do believe was Flames, that just helped them with a retake right there, and Incendiary as well, pushing them out of position. Calm and patient retake, although I do wonder why OG weren't cognizant of the fact that there was a real chance of the CTs rotating in from Ticket, and they get punished for it, Vince. That has to be such a gut punch. As we do have a hero AK in play. Hands of Neofrag, rest of them Deagles and some Kevlar, as FaZe 2 away from ensuring OT. 3 from taking us to map number 3. Twist will find the AK-47, which they're gonna attempt to retrieve, but Twist is gonna bodyguard it.
Oh, his Flames not taking any of those bullets. There we go, finally he's gone down. Damage done though in the process, but it doesn't really matter. Because FaZe have a stranglehold on this CT side. And Twists, although he will fall, Mantu is now compromised. HE lands right next to him. The best he can really hope for is maybe another kill or two into this round. It's going to see FaZe pick up a 14th here. Mantu, nice shot on terrain. This is surely where his round comes to an abrupt end. Brokey will be the man to do just that. A bit of a concerning aspect as well here, though, Blair, and I think I'm definitely not blaming Flames. It just goes to show how good he was in that first half. He had 18 kills coming into the second half, and he picked up his 19th in the pistol. Since then, these last 5 rounds, I don't think he's picked up a single frag. And that is a big issue for OG when one of your main players, your heaviest hitting players, is having an off T half.
Yeah, but I don't even want to put the blame on Flames though, right? Because where's everyone else? Right? I mean, we need the youngsters to really step on up. Fiku and Neofrag, it's been kind of quiet thus far. Mantu's been chipping in here and there. But you can't just rely on Flames to deliver every single time. But now here they come charging on out, and next up burns Brokey alive. The flashback helping him out as Rain all alone holding his ground, as Carrigan trying valiantly to at least find a trade. But OG, they punish FaZe for not respecting the smokes.
Robs has such a fast flank around the back though. It doesn't seem like Twist is interested. He's actually going into the B app, so I wonder if Rops is going to kind of dip his toe in the pool and see what happens. Well, what happens is there's a shark lurking in the form of Fiku. He dives in, plunges for the kill. So OG at least are going to make a little bit of a go of it. It's not going to be a complete blowout here. They're going to try and battle as much as possible. You'd expect nothing less from these guys. A lot of points to prove. And let's be honest, they've picked up the first map. And there's a place in the playoffs up for grabs here. So OG are going to make every opportunity they possibly can to try and close the gap between these two teams. The money, though, obviously for FaZe is solid. So they're going to be coming straight back in, especially with the saved AWP. So they're going to have another buy here. As you can see, the only round they picked up before this on the T-half was the pistol.
Yeah, it was a bit grim. I like how Brokey was trying to be aggressive there, and the Molotov, he was blinded as well, so he had no idea he was burning alive. And then we have Carrigan trying desperately to get on top of the bin and at least find something. But OG, fast hit towards the A bomb site, and they might just go for the same again.
I suppose if they feel like it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just try and rinse and repeat and see if you can play off some kind of a tell that you have, maybe a vulnerability or a weakness. Rain down first. Good flick from Brokey, but he's going to get punished. He's not going to be able to retreat out and keep himself in round 23. Extra smokes being deployed, flashing as well. A couple of them in actual fact. Keeping twists on his tiptoes. 23 kills to his name. And now Carrigan, the main man from Ancient, gets pushed through the smoke off Flames and gets caught with a grenade out. And so FaZe will be punished 2 rounds in a row. OG maybe making a read that this A site is a little bit weak. And it's now up to FaZe to try and plug in the gaps.
And they're aware as well the money isn't that great for the side of FaZe. So Nexa on the hunt. That being said, he's also kind of low on cash, so can't be too aggressive. FaZe, they're just going to tuck on inside of the apartments. No need to poke, no need to try and go for any kills. So yeah, 2 players will still survive, but good awareness from Fiku there. Expecting the play from Rain. Nice flick though from Brokey, right? But still the trades are really, really good from the side of OG. And around the 2 saved rifles, there is a buy possible, but the smart play here from FaZe would be, of course, to just hold on to the cash, hold on to the funds, so they will have money for a better buy come the next round. And considering you still have 5-round lead, you might as well. There's no need to force your way into oblivion, as Twist with a bit of a cheeky boost catches Nexa. There's another player waiting around the corner. Neofrag, is he aware?
Oh, I thought he maybe just got the timing, passing Rops there, but he still gets punished. Twist did burn alive, though. Thought he might have been safe from the molly with that smoke, but it must have just dwindled in time. And now, even though FaZe got a lot of the early trades, the early damage in their favor, find themselves a player behind. It is only 2 pistols that remain, just 2 USPs. So they're probably just going to clump together, I'd imagine, and push the site as a united force. Flames is low on 40, so he could kind of get into that USB headshot range. But the other 2 being at 100 suggests that this round, I mean, surely, Blair, surely OG don't lose this.
They really shouldn't. Rain probably tempted to head towards Connector and pick up that M4, but it is so risky, right? There's still a chance here where he could maybe catch them by surprise, but the longer he waits, it's looking grim. Flames. Okay, Rain, the USP, able to take on Flames, and now he's getting hunted, but backup has arrived, and they have a rifle as well to work with, and it's got to be Brokey! He lines them up! And FaZe get a map point with just, oh my god, I can't believe they've fallen like that. OG. Oh, jeez.
Oh man, as I said, surely they can't lose this round, but they did. They found a way. And take nothing away from Brokey. Perfect time, perfect spacing, and Rain also connecting that insta USP headshot was huge. This kill into Flames, but you're asking yourself, the one player that could get headshot down and instantly die is Flames. Why is he peeking first?
I guess they were maybe expecting the rifles to have been retrieved, expecting maybe a half buy. I don't know. I honestly, I don't want to know. That's just rough. Brokey didn't even have any armor. He just lined up perfectly. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it is rough, but still. Rain, though, I love that one way. I love that one way. Neofrag had no idea where he was. 2 players tucked on in. The nade's going to deal a lot of damage, though. And there we go. He finds one. Doesn't expect a second as Rops peeks on out.
Yeah, you'd never expect to there. But now that they know that Rops is also in the angle, they can peek in. I think Mantu saw Carrigan cross. They know Carrigan's here, but they have 2 players over in this position watching it. This could actually do more harm than good. The flashbang may have just saved OG. And a strange, sick twist of fate as they back off into the ramp. Now, Nexa was thinking of going for the long con rotation all the way through on Connector, but because of the pick of pace from FaZe, he's decided against that idea, and he's looking around, but now he's second-guessed himself again. He's going to Palace. He's in no position now to help his teammates. He went for a flank twice. They're going for the full defuse. He just has to deny the bomb planter, but it won't happen, and they're going to get the...
FaZe, while they do play this map, it's not exactly a fortress for them, right? It's not necessarily like an Inferno or like a a nuke, for example. And this is a map where they had, if you remember, just go back a few days, a very, very close win over OG. It was, I believe, 16-14, just 4 days before. So OG would definitely be feeling pretty comfortable here. But that being said, I felt like there were times where from FaZe, a lot of hyper-aggressive plays. Just throw your mind back. Remember how we saw Brokey being just like a one-man, just looking to take the fight, running in against pistols with his USP out when he had an op on his back, for example. There were plays like that coming in from FaZe, which were being punished by OG. And those are plays taking place when on a CT side where the money was in a bit of a brittle position as well. So there were, I don't think the score necessarily reflects how much more dominant FaZe were. It wasn't a 16-14 game. It was more like a 16-11 game, if you ask me. But so many mistakes being punished there by OG. So as long as FaZe, they keep it clean, I still see it going their way. But if I'm OG, the way they were able to take down FaZe on Ancient, and the fact that it still came down to some very close rounds, some unfortunate rounds, in fact, for OG, which cost them Mirage, I think they should be feeling pretty damn confident. Speaking of being confident, FaZe are being very confident with this aggressive play towards connector, and as they see no one towards tunnels, they're going to come wrapping in from short, and OG could be in for a big surprise, but Rain will be the first to fall.
Nex is going to spoil that surprise. And now Karrigan has to fall back. He gets one, that's huge, and it also baits them in to a false sense of security. They walk into a triple stack. Man, Rain dying almost was the perfect play for FaZe. Some 500 IQ play, or a really scrappy duel that I think Rops and NeoFrag are going to forget real quick. And meanwhile, Nexa, oh dear, Rops was so low. How have you not got that kill, Chief?
Eesh, yeah. Rops is basically, he's got a guardian angel just protecting him, just swiping away bullets from his position. Also, in the meantime, you can go to roobet.com and use the code QUICKNGO to claim your free balance. Just to, I like what OG had in mind there, where they were just going to be scampering towards long, making the presence known, and I think it was the classic around the role play as they came charging in down connector. What they weren't expecting was FaZe to have placed 4 CTs. In fact, there were 5 members of FaZe towards the connector position at one point in time, and they kind of fell into the well, basically a trap there, and of course not helped out by the fact that this last duel against Rops, the shots weren't quite landing. That being said, it's going to be a full eco here for OG, just to Glocks out and looking to plant the bomb.
So the last time these two teams played each other, as you said, it was just a few days ago. FaZe got 9 rounds on their CT side, but they did lose the pistol and started at 0-3. So as soon as they got their hands on rifles, they won 9 to 3 rounds of OG past that point. So they were very dominant on that CT side. So starting off with the pistol, just escalating that economic situation ahead much quicker. As they're spraying down now in the back, it's going to be a bloodbath. But Mantu and Nexa actually have picked up 2. And it's an M4 in the hands of Mantu. There's no Kevlar between the two of them, but it's been a lot more costly than FaZe were expecting. The point is, though, that FaZe, last time on their CT side, were incredibly strong. And so winning this pistol, and assuming they do dial this second round in without losing any more players, may bode very poorly for OG. However, if Mantu can just land a snappy headshot, maybe there's a way back in. That's been nullified. Next, though, the MP9 has got in with 1. So 3 players die. They at least make sure the M4 stays in play. But I don't think FaZe will be too happy with that outcome.
There were more than just one M4 there that round for FaZe, Vince. So they've lost the M4 in the hands of Brokey. And Robs as well, getting taken down. Again, reminder, there was 0 investment from OG. So that's a bit of a shocker for FaZe, losing 3 players like that. Take nothing away from OG, like great shots coming out, but still a bit of a yikes. But the guns will be coming out here for both the sides. No AWP for Mr. Brokey early on. He's going to come charging out towards long. I like this. The 2-man long push. And NeoFrag, he's aware.
Is he just not sure if he should go left or right? Or is he aware? Oh, I thought he was, but then his position suggested otherwise. He was looking towards the long side, and Brokey is straight through, the easiest of kills. Trays up to the AK, can back away without losing a single point of health. That is a huge turn of events, and OG on the back foot already.
Yeah, I'm sure he heard them. But I guess he went for the jump spot, didn't see The player that was Brokey pushed on in deep flames. The moment smoke's gonna fade, but Twist and Carrigan, okay, they have absolutely destroyed OG outside a monster bomb spotter as well. And now Fiku trying desperately to find a trade, but they've all fallen back. There's nothing he can do. He's got the bomb, but that's it.
Man, that play has no right to kill 3. But
someone should have been traded. Someone should have been traded.
3 without taking a single player down in the process? Like, really, OG? Not one kill. That was a 2v3, and they were both stuck in a bottleneck of Monster. Like, sure, the first kill going their way, fair enough. The smoke cleared it at an inopportune moment for the first casualty, but after that, you've got 2 players watching it. That is a very, very rough turn of events, and now Fiku has to back off to the spawn and hope he can save. There's a player up close, though, in the form of Brokey. It's not as if he has tons of cash, though, and he does have an AK, which you won't want to throw away, so I think Fiku will be allowed to survive this one, but that will be FaZe off to a 3-0 start. And just the nature, like just the sheer temerity to push the monster like that. Oh, man. And this is the same thing I remember last time they played each other, Blair. We were discussing a few times about how aggressive FaZe were on their CT side. They were constantly pushing up to playground and long. Connector. Short B was always under control as well.
Can we just, for a moment, appreciate there's a crosshair placement and movement from Twist there. Just flicking back and forth within 3 people. Smart target selection as well, and just hitting all the headshots. I mean, we might question how they lost the duel, but you gotta remember, it was Twist they had to contend again. The flash is brilliant. And Twist, he's gonna have no trouble picking up more members. Man, to the edge of the smoke, might be able to catch Twist here. He's been spotted, and the Deagle will finally find him.
A lot of damage through the smoke. Neofrag limping on 4, finished off, but Flames surviving on 22 with that Deagle. No longer the case. Mantu with his Deagle now. Can hear plays all around him. Nice 1 Deagle on terrain, but caught in the back. Another round where FaZe take multiple casualties, but they still extend their lead. And they stay in with these 2 AK-47s.
The op out now for Mantu. He has been a little quiet. I don't want to point any fingers, but he was so solid yesterday against Entropiq, where he was just, I wouldn't say carrying, but he was one of the main pillars for OG alongside Nexa and Flames. But he hasn't really been able to find that that high level which he was able to deal against the CIS side yesterday. So he was able to wake up here, could make things a little bit interesting. Rain, great position all the way at the back. He's not going to re-peek. Brokey as well, repositioning himself. He's got his teammate that is Robs inside a connector to watch his back too. But for OG, 4 members grouping up, working their way towards long. I guess it's lying its weight. It's going to be Rain.
It's good molly though, forces him away, but still stands his ground. There's 1 kill. Also a bit of damage to Neofrag, and Brokey will try and pick off at range and falls back to the site. A 2-for-1 trade is definitely good enough as far as FaZe are concerned, and nobody has gone to deal with Connector. So Rops this entire time is just sat in there waiting. You can see from Flame's perspective, he knows this is a possibility. He has the right read, but when you're a player behind, you can't afford to dilly-dally around. You can't afford to just sit and watch one angle, because you may get pushed in from bathrooms. You may get pushed in from banana. And now they're smoking onto the site. Flames will be called upon to join the rest of his teammates. And this will allow Rops to come up. Rops is going to maybe take down Flames, who checks his back one more time. There is a second connector play in, and Flames has dealt with him as well. Flames is having such a huge round here. HE to back of bathrooms is going to be taking down Brokey alongside that man once again from Israel. He is straight up wrecking FaZe in this round. A 4K, his first 4 kills of the map, and what a time to bust them out.
4 kills, 4 HP for Flames. The fact that he finds both the players, right? And Robs catches the timing. You narrated it perfectly, Vince. Like, he catches the timing, comes on in from behind, and still loses the duel. And then Flames spinning back and coming out on top over Twist as well. Not a huge fan of the play from Brokey, but he wanted to kind of be a little bit more disruptive Just jumping on out. And what a hero round from Flames, from 0 to hero. And he has been the one consistent performer for OG across the series. And they're going to need more from him. Buy-wise for FaZe, it's not looking that great. M4, the op in play. Here comes the pop.
And the pop is good, and it's that man again. Flames confidence showing itself now in motion as he continues to push in. Fiku stepping up, but it's going to be Brokey and Carrigan to try and lock this one down. And they do have short B, but I believe that's going to get smoked off. Or perhaps not, actually. They threw a Molotov into heaven. They feel comfortable. This short side is, for the most part, locked in. Now the smoke comes in. Carrigan decides to push into that smoke. The bomb is still quite a distance away from the site. So they need to bring this in. By that time, this smoke should clear. But that may be to Carrigan's detriment because he's being pushed in from the back now. He should be able to hear this. He's positioned himself in a spot where he could do some serious damage with the MP9. Mantu has no idea, but flicks across and takes down Carrigan. That must have been lightning fast on the flick. Still, though, FaZe only have Brokey, and considering the money, he's only setting up for exits. This round is over.
Brokey's paranoid. There could be someone up close expecting the boost coming into its heaven as well. But OG, they're going to try and hunt this one down. And there is long flank as well from NeoFrag. I do fear Brokey's days are numbered. And he will be found Nexa to snatch away the AWP. Nothing will be saved from FaZe. And OG from what was looking like absolute domination from FaZe initially. Win 2 in a row. And they have broken the money. We again go back to round number 2, Vince. It was just against the Glocks where FaZe lost 2 M4A1s, losing 3 members there, right? And that's why they're right now struggling with the money. The previous round, we had the op, the M4, but you had pistols in play, SMGs in play. They could have had a full rifle buy there if they hadn't suffered too many casualties in the anti-eco, but that's the way to cook the crumble sometimes. Just the USPs now for the side of FaZe, and OG should have a pretty comfortable time taking this one.
I'd certainly hope so. They had rounds like this that slipped away on Mirage, but off the back of 2 pretty convincing rounds, FaZe don't have too many options here either. They have gone for a short play on the B side and now moving into connector, so they can maybe wrap around from Con via the bathrooms and at least get some kind of like a 2-for-2 trade. They'll still come out second best, almost guaranteed, but if they can get any kills out of this round, it wouldn't be too bad, because OG haven't quite reached that critical mass yet on their T-side economy either. Yeah, they're looking good. They're going to be sharp after this round. Next round 4K, but you also have Fiku at 1,000, a few players around that low 2,000 mark. So taking a couple rifles with these USPs would be huge. Unlikely, but that's what they have to aim for. And now Twist shows his hand. Snatching back into play is Nexa. There's 1 casualty. Nearly a second. 7 HP for NeoFrag remaining. And another dink onto Flames. Fortunate not to lose more players. But OG, they have brought the deficit back down to 1.
Good work there, even though nice tags coming in from Brokey and Rain, but just losing 1 player, they're going to be happy with that one for OG. No AWP present in the server for FaZe. You can see the lost bonus. No one was above the $4,500 mark, so A1s will abound. Twist actually taking 1 for the team, going for the FAMAS so he can purchase the extra utility. As the T's come charging on out, a flash is good, but Carrigan doesn't swing wide enough.
And he is all alone on that short play. No one is able to help him out. They had no player in connector that could wide swing in. No player that was up on the short side or a boosted player to watch out. So that is a freebie kill when the rest of your team does not have that much in terms of utility, when you have no kits in play whatsoever. I can understand why Carrigan went for it. And if he gets a kill or 2, it looks like a genius, but that really has put the rest of his teammates now in an awkward spot.
I would have liked him to just commit to the full swing there, but he stuck on around too long. And the flash, obviously, OG at that point, they know there's going to be someone waiting for them, and there are 2 players ready to trade if needs be, but they didn't even have to trade. Carrigan down. FaZe, their defense and its B-bombs at just 2 players right now. not rotating anyone back. That being said, Brokey is slowly starting to peel away, peeling back towards the B bombs. That Twist will fall as well now.
Oops, the only player that's really capitalized. 30 seconds left, but there's going to be more than enough time to traverse onto the site. Brokey's going to need some heroics. As one nearly transitions into a second spray. Couldn't quite land the headshot, and Rops is coming down into connector. Man2 will have him nailed in comfortably. And OG, after a 4-0 lead, have won the last 4 rounds and broken FaZe once again.
This is solid from OG. Nothing too elaborate. Just waiting patiently, because FaZe have to take a few risks here, right? Just holding the angle, hoping they're able to walk into a bit of a crossfire. But the trading is so very, very solid. And FaZe, they look a bit flat, in all honesty, right now, the past couple of rounds. That initial flare we saw from them, it's seems to have dissipated a bit as we're down once more to the pistols. Biku, perfect timing on the peak. As Rain will have to make his escape. No way he's going to take that particular duel. He could maybe catch Neofrag. That was Neofrag Molotov tossed in, and Rain caught between a rock and a hard place, and Fiku will put him out of his misery. But with the presence of players towards Party and Connector, FaZe to decide, you know what, just might opt to go for a bit of a stack towards A, but no, they're still going to be playing split. But with Karrigan pushing towards short, that's going to allow Robs to peel back towards A as well.
Problem here for FaZe, though, is it's not guaranteed to be an A hit. The bomb T side of Con. And if anything, this positioning looks like it will be a B-sided hit come the end of this round. But Karrigan, if they do pick up the pace through Connector, he'll hear this, and he can call for a fast rotation down from one of those players on A. Now the door's been opened. Flash out the CZ, up close, trading into the AK-47. Karrigan gets aggressive again, but runs out of ammunition. And with his life being splattered in, it does make this a much more difficult hold on the side of FaZe. They have positions out in great graffiti, but no real weapons to utilize from. I think they had a Deagle in play from around there, but that was it. Good flash, and overall a decent round for OG. It was looking like Karrigan could maybe put in some heroics, but it was just too little and too far gone. So OG are going to lead for the first time on Overpass. This, again, if you have just joined us, is the deciding map. In this matchup, the loser is eliminated and the winner moves to the playoffs, and FaZe are now behind.
And these are convincing rounds being won. And if you need any clue, look at the money. Man2, Flames, Neofrag, $7,000, $8,000. Nice shot from Brokey, though, but he will not be long for this world. But yeah, they are looking solid here. They're definitely on fire, as the HUD shows as well. 5 in a row for OG. And that's a smart call as well. The moment they find Karrigan there, Vince, they went for the pop play, right? Sure, he gets 1 kill, but he gets traded immediately. And they know, looking at his position, that means the rest of the CTs are probably all the way towards the A bomb site. So the B bomb site is pretty much clear. And they immediately just speed on through and catch a CTs in a much more passive position all the way towards CT and graffiti just with the pistol. So again, small little things, small little right calls being made by OG as we have yet another buy coming out from FaZe. And it is interesting that we have a double op setup with Karrigan wielding the secondary one. I don't even remember seeing this.
Oh, that flash, though, completely working against the teeth. That was Man2's flash that landed in the eyes Neofrag, but it may not end up matching because Fiku and Flames are just locking his sight down. It started so well for FaZe, but it's come apart so quickly. Flick from Brokey, but it feels like a consolation kill. It is still down into a 1-on-2, switching across to that M4. Flash allows him safe passage with the smoke in his eyes. But Man2, oh, that flick is so rapid. And OG passed this so convincingly in the end. When you consider that Twist got the opening 2 kills, it was a 5-on-3. And they still get just destroyed on the site.
That is actually insane how quickly they turn things around there. Yeah, you said it, Vince. The 2K from Twist, in the meantime, I was just looking at the double op setup and wondering what FaZe are going to do with it. Instead, Twist opens things up with a brilliant 2K. But then Fiku finds the first over here, then he groups up with the rest of his teammates and absolutely dismantles that hold from FaZe. They had 3 players in B, and everyone finds his skulls cracked open. Despite the heroics of Brokey in the end, there's nothing he could do. But Twist, even though his team is struggling a bit right now, the Canadian, he's hitting some shots.
Yeah, he's been consistently hitting shots the entire best of 3 with the Deagles. Over on Mirage, he had a couple of really special rounds. And that has continued to be the case. They're flanking 2 players around the back of Playground. That allows FaZe to stack 3 on B. And Carrigan, not for the first time, pushing in with the CZ. They have a flashbang. The damage wasn't there, though. Headshot connects. But at that range, it needs to be 2. Flame survives. He's been moving into the MP9's range, though. And Rops just flicks down onto his head. Doubles up. Bomb down on short, and now the noose begins to tighten as the CTs move in. Rain, though, is plucked out, but they still don't have the bomb. Fiku, though, decides to get aggressive to try and watch the backside, and they've nullified that one down into a 2-on-2. Twists and Rops remain both pretty healthy, and it's still time on the clock for OG to clutch.
Fiku finding Twist as well. Now it's all on Rops. He's got 2 kills already, but now position known. He hadn't budged since he got the first 2 kills. And they're going to try and hunt him down. 24 seconds. They're trying to find him. He's going to deal a bit of damage. Almost finds Mantu with 31 HP with 18 seconds. OG, they're not going to bother taking the fight with Rops. Bomb will be planted and Mantu just going to hold the angle. If he comes in from CT, he's going to be done for. So Rops realizing it, coming in from Connector. He's got the AK, but no kit and no smoke to work with. In fact, no utility.
But he still has 86 HP. And we know that his aim is so very good. He lives for the clutch. Nearly snapping the head off of Fiku twice. But in doing so, he's wasted a lot of time. This is where the lack of kit and nades really comes to the forefront. If he connects that headshot, then I think he fully invests and fully goes all in on that round. But instead, he'll have to back out, tail top between his legs, and go in for the save. It was so nearly around for FaZe. It was Rops that picked up the first 2 as they pushed in with the MP9. But OG, they didn't get exquisitely to stabilize from that spot. I mean, was that a 2v4? I think it was like a 2v4, yeah. So that's just outrageous.
It's 2v4, and firstly, great flick from Robster, the low player. But the fact that Fiku's able to isolate these 2 kills, and here's a small little thing. Mantu holds the angle to its pillar, right? Allowing Fiku to come in from Monster, because if both of them come in from the short position, then they kind of will be kind of funneled in and would be feeling very uncomfortable. So he comes on in from the Monster position, gets another kill, and then Rob's there. Just unfortunate how they just bypass him. And OG, in some of these 2v3s, whenever we talk about FaZe, everyone in the desk talks about how these 2v2s, these clutch situations, these 3v4s, they have the veterancy and the sheer skill to convert it. But right now, it's looking like OG seem to have that ability going their way. Right now, they're the ones who are able to, if facing a little bit of trouble, able to somehow extricate themselves from whatever hole they find themselves in. That being said, though, Brokey will open things up. He has managed to get that opening duel onto Flames. But right now, Vince, this is not the Flames show. It's not the Mantu show. It's not the Nexus show. Every single player of OG is chipping in the 7-round streak.
100%. It has been a team effort, a collaboration of fragging power. But this is going to be a very straightforward kill. Regulation kill for Brokey. Doesn't have to blink twice on that one. Just pull the trigger. Relocate. Flashbang out. Wants to peek on Banana. Oh, the timing is very unfortunate, but he doesn't get punished with his life at least. And he decides to get aggressive. Classic Brokey. And that's the bomb that goes down with Fiku's life. And in doing so, that should be FaZe's first round in 7. Yes, you heard that right. 7 rounds in a row to OG after FaZe started 4-2-0. So at least they have started to come back into this. And more importantly than that, they keep all 5 players alive, Blair. That is huge. That is absolutely massive, paramount importance. Assuming that Mantu doesn't spoil the party here with his AWP.
Oh, yeah. There we go. He will survive, but great round for him for Brokey. I love the fact that he look at where he's finding the kills, right? Gets the first kill towards short, and then rotates back towards A. plucks away the members of OG. I'm just looking at the previous time these two teams played Overpass. It was just the first game here in the Roobet Cup, we had the opportunity to cast that as well, right? And it was FaZe. They started on the T side that time, and as you said, Vince, they had 7 rounds on their T side. On the CT side, they managed to find 9 to close it out in what was a 16-14 scoreline favoring FaZe Clan. This is a whole different ball game, though.
Oh yeah.
OG are looking. They've won more rounds than they did in that game already here, and we still have 3 more to go.
And also in that last FaZe performance when they won 9, they lost the pistol round, so they even came back from a disadvantageous position, and they fixed the errors, and they course corrected. This time they won the pistol, and really that's the only reason that they're even in this half right now. As Rops gets aggressive out, Molotov onto short pipe. Flames goes in for the peek, but there's nades there to deal with him. Flashes on top of it, twists with a spray, and they've completely repelled this push. OG wanted to raise this B site to the ground, but instead they're on the receiving end. There's some hot hands on FaZe, and they're also getting flanked in from the back. Brokey can sense the blood in the water, can feel that chomp, and wants to go in and pick off these kills. Down to his right-hand side, Fiku is on 17, make that 0, and now Bomb under control from the CTs.
Of course, it has to be Brokey to go in for the solo flank with the AWP, and I love it. Some signs of life for FaZe, yeah. Couple rounds back-to-back. This is a much more slower round from OG. Right, they try to go for that contact play towards the smoke. Twist gets the first. Karrigan's there to help him out as well. The Karrigan Twist combo towards Monster has actually netted them some of the rounds they found early on. But with 2 more rounds remaining in this half, don't be too surprised if OG try and go for something way more faster. Mantu has $11,000 to work with, so he will have no trouble dropping guns for his teammates, so we will still have a full buy. But I would, at this point, want to see a bit of either an execute or a faster play instead of this slow creep approach, because this is where you're starting to kind of feed into FaZe, and FaZe aren't being as aggressive as they were earlier, where they were getting punished for it. So 7-6 FaZe, still with a real chance of getting to 8. And look, 7 rounds in the T side for OG, that's still already a fantastic job. But if they can get more, they can be a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, this is definitely tipping on the scales. Feel how tense this game is. A lot on the line. $250,000 prize pool, of course. One thing that should be highlighted. Playing for a lot of money here, both teams. And FaZe, one of the favorites coming in. There is a chance they could get eliminated. This is a very important round. Brokey, though, once again connects the first shot. He could be pincered in, though, also from middle, on from connector side. He's getting blocked, though, in the meanwhile, just hiding the smoke, crossing his fingers, putting his head in his hands, and hoping he doesn't get spotted. But now Rain up to the plate, delivers 1 kill, and nearly a second takes a big shot onto Neofrag, dropping him down to 9. But FaZe maintain the player advantage. And although the 2 Ts may have bypassed Rain, they will not bypass Rops. And Rops comes in from behind, dealing the fatal damage on 2. And FaZe are back to even once again.
The absolute balls on Brokey just running into the smoke. I loved it. And there was and we're trying to find him so very long, and it allowed the rotation to take place, right? Rops is coming in as well from connector, and we had Rain holding onto the ground. I love this from Brokey. Good awareness from Fiku, though. It's like, wait, he's not inside, he's definitely in the smoke, but nice try, but in the end, it's just not good enough. Rops from behind to finish things off. And OG, they did try to speed things up there, Vince, heading towards long, but they get met with a wall. And they all gonna line up for Rain. He finds 2, even dinking on Mantu to 22 HP. This should be round number 8 here for FaZe. They've got so much information as well. They spotted the C4. But Flames finding Brokey, suddenly going to turn this one around into another 3v3.
Oh, that incredibly close round. I think the FaZe going to pull away after the heroics that Rain showed. And since then, it's been back and forth. And Mantu just checking his back. He was looking at bathrooms for a while, spun around just in time. There's still a minute on the clock as well, so Twisted in such an awkward position here. Just outside of the bathrooms, he's getting flanked from Fiku. He may not check this angle, though, and that could sell a false narrative a false bit of news to his teammate. And if MANTU pushes onto the A site through Banana or Bathrooms, that should be him dead to Twists. But Fiku is still moving around, getting down towards the B side. There is a player down here in the form of Carrigan, but he won't be spotted from this angle. He's watching Monster. This is such a strange round, but they are deciding to push onto the B site now. The bomb coming through on connector side. So it comes down to Carrigan here. The timing's everything, but they've seen the trajectory of that incendiary, and now Fiku knows exactly where Carrigan is, who starts to make moves in. Carrigan's a dot goner. He is a dead man. He had no idea that was a possibility.
That is so unfortunate for Carrigan, Vince. It was insane how Fiku walks in from A into B, and he doesn't see neither Twist nor Carrigan. And as long as Carrigan remained tucked in there, there was a real chance he'd be able to shut things down. But how is he going to know? Like, how is he going to know there was a player already inside of Heavens? And the timing of that could not have been any worse. Twist, it's been a shining light in what has been a grim half year for FaZe, but this time around, there's not much you can do either. MANTU to finish him off, and that was a round-winning look from Fiku. I'm still blown away with the fact that he turned this one around. Rain gets the first 2 opening kills. He finds the info. He dinks MANTU. It's a 3v4, and somehow OG still win it without losing any more members.
Just madness. Absolute madness throughout that. FaZe get a 4-0 lead. And then OG come back with authority. FaZe make a second win, but still trail going through to the second half. And this was the half where they had less success last time these teams played just a few days ago. Now, maybe they've looked into that demo. They've had a good discussion amongst the team, and it's going to be a much more well-oiled machine here, but we'll have to wait and find out. Flames up first, flash is good. Twist has gone down alongside Rain, and that's exactly what OG were hoping for. Flames has done his job, and I can sit back and wait for the rest of his team to try and close this one out. But it's going to take a while before the rest of the team rotates in. They were all very deep on the A site. Now they're splitting in towards the site. They're not going to be able to deny the bomb plant at the very least. 3-play-4 on this retake, and now the CT's getting aggressive at range. The USPs trying to chip through some of these players, but Carrigan holds his ground with the Glock. Now up close, down to Nexa. MANTU jips in with one of his own, and that'll be the round coming to a conclusion. OG pick up yet another pistol.
OG and their pistols. It's been a nightmare for FaZe. How many pistols have FaZe won again, Vince? 1, 2?
I think 2 in the entire best of 3. I think it's 2-4 in favor of OG.
Yeah, there we go. And that is, not only did they get the tiny little lead heading to the second half, but they win the pistol as well. Great openings there to start things off from Flames. Beautiful flash as well from MANTU. And despite the heroics of Rops with the B250, simultaneous kills, Nexa and MANTU to finish it off, and that is going to be the force for FaZe, however, because they did manage to at least get the bomb down. Twist taking quite a bit of damage running it through the Flames, and that, if there was any CTs towards long, that could have caught them off guard, because they didn't see any smoke there, and they're like, yeah, all right, maybe they didn't smoke it up, maybe they're still waiting towards ramp. But unfortunately for Twist, there's no one there towards long for OG. Instead, they're going to be more concentrated towards this connector short position.
Smoke clearing, MANTU getting aggressive, pushing in. Maybe be caught though. Looks to his side and Robs misses the spray. MANTU was preoccupied checking the angles, and MP9 against an AK, and Robs loses that trade. That's unreal. You expect Robs to capitalize and shatter that every single time. And what an important pick that is as well. And now MANTU has connector control. For how long is yet to be seen, because there's still 2 players out on middle. But he's wasting a lot of time in the process here.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to move, right? The player coming down the ladder, he's going to still have the advantage. As duel will be taken, and Broken Carrigan grouping up together to find Neofrag. Now MANTU's going to make his move. They still know he was there towards connector, so there's not much you can do from this position for the time being. Nexa calling for backup as Fiku will arrive.
MANTU is still the snake in the grass though. Fiku coming in. Nexa there. Did that Molotov just miss the truck? Did that go too deep? Nexa's been unaffected by this. And he can hear the plant underarm. Even if that bomb gets finalized, it still will be the cost of Rain's life. And now Nexa goes in for 2. Twists, last man standing is MANTU. The player that was hiding in connector forever, that took down Rops early on, has now come full circle. And Twists try as he may, has 3 players to deal with, and the bomb is spotted in an awkward angle. They can try and bodyguard this one. The spray is so nearly on point, though. And they didn't have a kit to go for the defuse. So I tell you what, if Twist got that second kill and played the time, he could have clutched that 1v3. But it doesn't matter, because it doesn't come to fruition. 10-7 now the score.
That was close. I have to agree with you. Yes, absolutely. Twist swings out wide enough to get the second kill on the diffuser because he wasn't looking at him. He was still sticking to the diffuse. I do believe that was Nexa. Then with the lack of a kit, that could have really gone very wrong indeed. But Fiku to save the day. 10-7 for OG. For FaZe, because they got the bomb down, Vince, because it came down to the 1v2. They're going to go for the buy. Galil's out for the majority of the players, all 4 of them, and Galil's Twist the only one with the AK. The CTs, it's the salvage AK from the previous round, and A1. It's a dangerous game being played here by Man2, but he will escape reasonably unscathed, just taking 22 points of damage. Meanwhile, towards the A-bomb side, we had Neofrag as well, just kind of bodyguarding him from mid, but with no presence from the T's early on, they will fall on back and reposition themselves. We see Neofrag making his way towards long, and then Man2 probably going to be falling back to the bomb side. Just going to be spotting out. A very passive hold overall here from OG. They're respecting this buy from FaZe.
As they should. They have a good read of the situation here. Nexa's done his due diligence. Not getting too aggressive, not playing into the wheelhouse of FaZe that will punish you. 50 seconds now. With these 2 smokes, they have options if they want to try and execute onto the site. The timing, though, Rain is picked off first. The Man2 changing up his angles and knows that Neofrag is there to help him out. This is beautiful duo gameplay on the banana side. And a third, and that's the bomb. 4th comes in. FaZe, hot off the back of fully investing, have been completely vaporized on this T half. Twist is the only player to do anything in retaliation, and the spray will not yield a second. It's heavy damage to Nexa, but 4 players alive, 4 players that can trade up weapons. OG are in such a good position now in the CT half.
What a beautiful 2-man hold there, Vince. Just brilliant synergy between the 2 of them, and they take out 4 members and combined HP of 30 remaining on the 2 of them. Beautiful stuff by Neofrag and Man2. But Man2 is getting pressure, Neofrag swings out, and then they go for the double swing. And Man2 to finish off the job. There's not much Twist can do from that position. He was able to at least find 1, but that's it. FaZe, the money finally broken once more. Pistols and Kevlar will come on out. And Man2 looking to still hold on. Deploys a smoke, Carrigan comes running through it, and Man2 feeling adventurous will venture out and find a second. Rain is just legging it towards long though, but Nexa, internal alarm clock tingling, and he knows there's someone waiting for him. A shot will ring out, and Nexa will immediately call for backup and toss in a Molotov. Beautiful shot from Robs though. With Neofrag falling, that's the gun that can be retrieved.
Which will be retrieved right now. Rain has picked it up. Smoke in his hands, but he's been bypassed by Nexa. Is this an angle that feasibly gets checked, especially as Rain is going to have more attention pivoted onto the site? But Nexa has not checked his back. He's not checking his angles. Rain now has an opportunity. He shot though, and this is where Nexa can close the noose. The guillotine comes down and chops apart FaZe. Once again, they survive with 4 players, OG. Money in the bank. FaZe are going to have a bye, but we're quickly getting towards the business end of this map, Blair, and OG are going from strength to strength. They're still yet to be beaten on the CT side.
And the one thing, the one commonality between all of the maps we've seen from OG thus far in the Roobet Cup, and even going back to some of the events they played earlier with this new lineup, was how there was no real consistency in all the players delivering simultaneously. You'd always have Flames kind of being the rock, as you said, Mr. Consistent for his team. Apart from that, we'll have maybe a big game from Man2, then disappears for a bit. Nexa steps up as well, then disappears for a bit. Same with Fiku and Neofrag. But right now, 12-7, just take a glimpse at how the kill spread is. Ignoring Man2, who's really come into zone in the past couple of rounds. I think he's got like 5 kills in the past couple of rounds. Fiku, Nexa, Flames, and Neofrag, the gap between the kills in the kills department, just 2. It's been a team effort. and they have been firmly outplaying FaZe here.
Flashes are good, but there's no follow-up behind it. Just a couple of Molotovs has pretty much stopped FaZe from pushing in. So a ton of flashes were tossed in, but they're now starting to back away. Trying to poke and probe and outmaneuver. Antu up close. Will come out second best against Twists. But Neofrag on long may go unchecked as he snakes his way, sneaks into the bathroom. If no one checks this angle, oh my god, he's coming around the back of them. No one checks this, he could be in for a ton of frags, but Brokey does do his due diligence and will be rewarded as a result. And that should be moving into an 8th round on FaZe. There's rotations coming in. But unless they can get a pick on the cross, it's unlikely they're going to get anything that's really going to matter here. And all this partnership onto the site as Nexa removes Karrigan, but he's the only T that's fallen. And Fiku, alongside Flames, in no position to go for this. They will save. So FaZe, they've lifted the curse of their T half, but they're going to have to put a lot more back-to-back before this one gets close.
Still a long way to go for FaZe. For OG, though, isn't going to be any immediate problem. What do FaZe do? They have looked so flat throughout this map, Vince. It's been a bit of a shocker. And especially, look, there are a lot of caveats here, right? Like, I am Dallas. It was immediately after the major. Totally understandable why, you know, that they weren't really in killer form, so to speak. It happens to a lot of teams. I think Na'Vi were the only team in CS history to have won a tournament immediately after winning a major, unless my facts are wrong. But I think it's pretty correct. There are a lot of teams who struggle or fall off a little bit immediately preceding a big event. So that's completely ignorable. But then you come to this event where FaZe are the big favorites, and it's an online event which is leading into IEM Cologne, the biggest event of this quarter post a major. So it will be some worries here for the side of FaZe if they somehow wind up losing this game to OG. But still, it's not over yet. Still a number of rounds remain for OG to close this one out, 4 to be precise. And FaZe, they are a team who've shown time and time again they can claw it back from the jaws of defeat against some of the best in the world. So count them out to your own detriment. As here we go. Execute going to be coming on in, but it's all a ruse. The bomb's still all the way towards T-spawn, which should be picked up.
Oh, the flash is good, but Mantu still flicks in for the kill on Rain, and Flames locks it down on Monster. Could go in for a second and does just that. That's the bomb that's been dropped. 55 seconds. Molotov into the eyes of Short will force away Karrigan. He had a couple of big rounds at the start of the CT side. Since then, he's gone off the boil. He should be fragging hard, but that flick to the second player, the transition on the spray is so mammoth. Looking to dissolve the rest of the CTs now on the B side of the map. Twist coming in. Molotov is down. Spray is good. This will be a 2-on-5. This could be everything now for FaZe. The catalyst of a comeback in the palm of their hands. And Mantu can do little but watch as all of his teammates fall around him. Although he does have the AWP and a kit. He's being flanked right now from that man, Karrigan. Does he realize it? He does, but the no-scope misses, and Karrigan explodes again. Those 2 kills through a Monster are outrageous. That flick just opened up everything for the CTs and really put the pressure on them.
2 versus 5, Vince. That round was over. It was just over. And then Karrigan happened. Like you said, that was just a beautiful sequence of frags. Not just from Karrigan, but from Twist as well. Great kill on a second. Then Twist isolating the headshot, finding the 4th player as well. And there's not much Mantu can do from the position. He was waiting for Karrigan to peek from the right-hand side once he plants the bomb. But Karrigan smartly avoids his crosshair. And they have broken the money of OG. It's down to just the pistols. It's not even pistols with armor, and just like a couple of them upgrading to it. It's Mantu and Fiku and Neofrag with a P250. And FaZe, when it looked like OG were going to be running away with it, they say, hold on, we're not quite done yet, son. Karrigan leading by example.
As has so often been the case over this last 6 or so months, he's had so many big performances when you don't really expect him to, but more like his stats might not necessarily paint a very pretty picture, but the amount of impact that he often has, be able to run out an entry like that if he needs to. But I can't help but feel that if OG let that really affect them, if they dwell on that last round, that could be them kind of just ebbing out of this half. Because up until that moment, they've looked so good. They can't beat themselves up too much. They need to bounce back as fast as possible. In this round, obviously, not too much in terms of weaponry, and they're being picked apart as expected. Next around the corner, gets 2 kills with his USP. Not too shabby. But obviously, in terms of the endeavors of winning this round, it is pretty much resting at 0, where it expected to be. Fiku with his Deagle, hoping he can trade that up to maybe an assault rifle. But this is a done deal, and now we have a real game on our hands. You said it before, Blair. You were spot on. Doubt FaZe at your own peril, because these guys have come back so many times. This is one of their characteristics now. It's one of their traits of trailing but still making somehow. Kind of reminds me of Astralis, actually, at their peak as well. Like, Astralis could be down 5, 6, 7 rounds and still somehow win when it really counted.
It's kind of crazy how quick this turnaround was as well. It started off with that round they won on the A bomb site, and then the 2v5 from Karrigan and Twist. That could be the round. If FaZe are able to pull this one back, that is a round everyone's going to go back and watch, or that's a round everyone's going to be talking about. Yesterday we saw it as well. Eternal Fire against Imperial. Xantares with a Hero AK-47 in round number 22 or 23, just shredding through Imperial, allowing the comeback to transpire and eventually winding up winning that entire series. And this could be the round where OG look back and be like, yeah, that's where we let it slip. Now FaZe have won 3 in a row. This was 12-7 for OG. They were looking unassailable, but now FaZe, a bit of pep in their step. Karrigan pushed it so very deep. This is a very passive hold from OG. None of that typical transitional defense you see on overpass, and that means they are getting hunted down. Nexa, his days should be numbered.
On the Frag's watching his back, they're basically using this buddy system. The flashbang neutralizes that completely. One flash, that's the problem. That's why you don't see that crossfire used more often. And the nade couldn't have been better placed onto Fiku, landed in his pocket pretty much. Ate that fully. And that will be OG saving again. They can't go in for this. Their money is still in terrible shape. And you go back to that round again. Like, that has to just be reverberating around them. That has to be bouncing in their heads. But all things considered, like, you're taking FaZe to their limits. And up until that point, your CT side was looking so good. They had great trades. They were taking control of the map. They were really making FaZe sweat this one out. But it just feels like FaZe, they've just jumped into that next gear, and it can OG match them? Still not out of this just yet, but that deficit that was looking so large just a few moments ago is now 1. That's it. They're right behind OG.
Four in a row, and apart from the 2v5, everything has looked clinical here for FaZe. And yeah, and that's a danger with that hold, right? Like as you said, Vince, just one flashbang, and if the trades are good, the spacing is good from the T's, it's going to be so very hard to hold on. And with everyone fired up on the side of FaZe, it's not going to be easy. OG just being turtled up, having no information, and also another reason why you don't want to play that passive with no information is the moment even if you're able to trade, right? Even if it becomes a 3v3, by the time your teammates react over the B bomb site, the bomb's already planted. And the T's are going to have a lifetime to basically go wherever they want to play the post plan. So that's why you always go for the info play. That's why you don't remain that passive of a position, especially unless you don't have utility. If you have utility, fair enough. You can just like jump spot, maybe delay them for a little bit with some counter flashes or incendiaries or whatnot. But FaZe 11-12 here. There are these 2 saved guns to work with still for OG, and they have managed to at least find Rain early on. I think there was a bit of an early duel towards Monster, which enabled him to catch the Norwegian. But FaZe are content to slow things down again. Look at the Monster walkout, Vince.
Hey, taking a page out of FaZe's book. We saw this, I think it was Twist and Karrigan did this very same play. They had the same result. Not quite, though. Because on that occasion, FaZe lost no players. And on this one, OG have conceded. But they still have Nexa here with the 5-7. They may not expect a 3rd player to be in this spot. Twist has no idea. He was looking up, hoping that a peek from the barrels will come into play, but now they can sweat their way in. Nexa gets one more, puts it down to a one-on-one. Amantu did just miss an up shot, so his position's now known. Carrigan would have heard that coming from around the graffiti area. Needs to keep peeking around the corner, and Mantu had no idea. He was still peeking down on Monster. Gets punished, and OG now, every single round that they were hoping to bank off in that lead has been drawn back. 5 rounds on the bounce to the tees.
What a round from Carrigan, Vince. The find there. He gets a first kill. He's like, okay, that's the guy. But it's like, no, that's not the guy. That's not the one who killed his teammates. Finds a second. And then the speed in which he just ran on through from Monster. Mantu was not expecting it. Mantu was so sure Carrigan was still looking in the Monster position. And that's heartbreak. OG, it felt like they'd done everything. Saved M4, able to find one, the Deagle singing as well, but eventually FaZe will not be denied. Carrigan will not be denied, as is now on 12 kills, considering the quiet start he had to this map. The score's being tied up, and with a 5-round streak for FaZe, I mean, the momentum, we talk about momentum, Vince, it has shifted. It's been, as Yanko likes to call it, a paradigm shift for FaZe.
This has been brutal, hasn't it, really, for OG? Go back to that round over and over again and just wonder, what if? Doesn't matter, though. They still have rifles. One element that we have seen from OG is that even when they do come under fire, they can hit that second wind as well. FaZe did this on Mirage. Big did this against FaZe earlier in the tournament as well. It happens all the time. So FaZe can't afford to take their eyes off the prize. The flash is so good. The follow-up damage is there for one. But Twist makes sure that the man advantage remains intact. Nexa now stuck on the site. 2 kills from Nexa is huge, but it may not be good enough. Neofrag did spot player dropping down to his left. That will be Rops, but the bomb still gets finalized. Smoke on Heaven is an issue, and Neofrag gets caught out in the open. Mantu able to get one, comes back out again, and a flick onto Brokey keeps the dream alive.
Holy hell, Mantu needed to come clutch there. The second was nasty. And OG, they finally find one after what felt like forever. And this is after the heroics from Nexa from this position, able to get the second kill as well. But in the end, despite the heroics of Rops, Mantu with a clutch which might just save his team. Oh, brilliant stuff. But again, Vince, because they'll lose 4, the money is virtually non-existent. Couple of FAMASs in play. And FaZe, though, because of the streak they went on in, they're going to be still sitting pretty comfortable. And they're telling themselves, listen, it came down to a 1v2 there.
The thing is as well, although that was a ridiculous pulverizing play from Mantu, it will be for naught if they can't take this round. You just highlighted it perfectly. The money is in the drain right now for OG, and FaZe will know this. Yes, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but you know that the reward might still be there. You take this round, you're on the fast track to at least 14 rounds, more than likely. They can sense that. They know the weakness is in play. Now, this is an audacious stack. 4 players leaving Mantu all alone on the A side. And although he connects onto Twist, he missed the second shot. And now they need to rotate quickly. Already up is Neofrag. He will be there in time. But they're still trailing by a player, all things considered.
Carrigan still sticking around. He's going to try and sell this. If you can find 1 kill, that would be huge. But if he gets traded here... No sound yet, but it could be spotted out. Fiku can hear all the commotion. He should find Twist. Indeed, he will. The trade will take place. And now just 1 defender on B, but Nexa has also arrived.
20 seconds. Flames with the peak. There's one. If he could have just stayed alive behind the pillar, it could have been massive. The bomb was dropped, though. Now Rob's coming in. Nexa, last man. His partner's gone down. He wants to try and deny the bomb plant, but Carrigan is watching. Eagle-eyed. And this is the exact situation that we were discussing. Man2's heroics have been completely suppressed down because OG, tied back up at 13, have pretty much nothing to play with.
You go back and watch this game. Almost every single kill from Carrigan seemingly has been impact frag. It's not top fragging in a server, but just so much impact being found by the IGL. The clutches, the 2v4 conversions, bodyguarding his teammate. And now the nade sailing in. Flames is going to limp away in 12 HP. They do have pistols, do OG. With the flash, it's an obvious tell from Mr. Rops that there are a couple of CTs who were looking his direction from short.
Slowly moving their way over on the long side. They decide not to go on long directly. Oh, those two players long are hearing this entire sequence of play. Brokey will be getting away with it for the time being. But all it takes is for a peek at the perfect moment, take a head clean off, trade up to an AK, and things could get scrappy. Twist still realizes this is a distinct possibility, comes round the corner, and he's tagged down so low, but still stands his ground. Fiku being splattered by rain is a problem for OG now. Man2 coming back into the long side will be meeting Brokey face to face. And the Battle of the Orpers is finalized with the AK-47, and this round will go the same way in favor of FaZe.
14-13. What was it again? 12 to 7? I've lost track, but it was a massive, 12-7. And ever since then, OG have won only one round, which again came down to Man2 with that clutch. This has been a comeback and a half from FaZe, and that's what you expect. I don't want to be the one to proclaim I told you so, Vince, but we had that feeling, right? If you ever count out FaZe, that's when they come roaring back into the game, and boy, oh boy, have they come back into this one. OG, at least they have the money for the buy. But if they were to stop this comeback train, if they were to derail it for FaZe, it has to start now.
Oh, Man2 snatched at the opportunity. Can't really blame him. I think he expected a wide peak. To be fair, even if he did connect that shot, there was another two players behind the first. However, him going down without any kind of repercussions on the side of FaZe puts them at a massive advantage. And they can see the finish line. OG have really made FaZe work for this. They made them sweat this one out. Take nothing away from OG's performance whatsoever. Spray from Twist is good. Fiku's been punished. And OG now on life support. They need a big play. We saw that 2v5 earlier have huge ramifications for OG. Can they maybe return the favor?
It's gonna really depend on Flames' position connector. He's seeing nothing towards B, but if he's able to somehow find Rain and pressure Cons, and then maybe his teammates can pincer on this play towards a short position. Utility getting deployed here. This hold is everything.
Nexa once again proving that he is a phenomenal anchor player. With one kill, they're really playing with their food on Neofrag, and he can only muster up the one kill. Now the back attack comes in, and Flames nearly sprayed down two. And if he got those two kills, it would have been a one-on-one. But instead, FaZe secure 2 match points, 2 playoff points.
And the money is it's max loss bonus, but it is not good at all. 34, about what, 3,700, 3,800? I saw, I believe, 1 or maybe 2 players over 4K. And that means if they want to go for the firepower, they're going to be lacking utility, and you can't afford to have that on this map especially. So there we go. They will have to sacrifice the A1s for the FAMAS. Fiku, in fact, he can only afford an 8 even post the FAMAS buy. Smoke will be picked up. M4s for the rest of them. It's looking grim, Vince. 3 smokes, no incendiaries, no kits, a handful of flashbangs and an 8. That's all they have to work with. That's all they have to stave off elimination. And at this point, you got to remember how young this team is as well. Apart from Nexa and Mantu, the majority of them are still youngsters at this level of Counter-Strike. And the pressure, it has to be affecting them.
Oh, for sure. That's why you have to give them a lot of credit for how they've really battled and looked like a very well-oiled machine at times. There have been issues, though, which FaZe have made the most of. Listen, you don't win a major without being able to grind out the difficult performances where maybe you're not playing on your A game. I think it's a fair assessment of how FaZe have been feeling so far. Karrigan, though, had a slow start. At one point, I think he was 6-10, 16-12 or something like that. Now he's 17-14. He's had a massive upward trajectory in these last 5 or so rounds. And speaking of the man, he may be here to deliver the fatal knockout blow. NeoFrag, not for the first time in Banana, is having success. But he's been tagged down to 2 HP in the process. And he'll be playing bait for Nexa, watching the tight angle. They also have a third player on the site watching long. It's a good setup, but it's all off the proviso that they can get another kill here from Nexa. And it's all been baited in for Nexa's position, but him dropping now puts so much pressure on Fiku. And the young Polish player is only able to get one. Flames, not for the first time, round the back from Connector, gets spotted, but still carves a path through the head of Rops. Smoke in his eyes, trading up to the AK. He has no kit, but he does have a smoke. I'll be utilizing that. It's not a great smoke, though, all things considered. May do more harm than good, because there's already a smoke down. And without having a kit, this is going to waste even more time now. Maybe panicking a little bit in this 1-on-2. Hiding behind that smoke. Half of the fuse has gone. Needs this kill cleanly on Rain. Spots Rain. Takes his head off. But he has no idea as to where Karrigan currently resides. And he needs to get on the bomb right now. No kit is an issue. Even with the headshot, he doesn't have it. The game still goes the way of FaZe.
That has to be heartbreaking. That has to be so heartbreaking for OG. But FaZe, I don't know how they do it. And they prove us wrong. There was one point, I think it was like 12-7 or something, when I echoed our fellow analyst and I said, like,